the way, I've heard of the sanitary belt before, but I've never actually seen what that looks like. Steve, are you wearing one right now?
I am, yeah.
Can you show that to me?
Absolutely, yeah.
No, but I've never seen what that actually looks like.
I have a little trap in the back for the poo-poo, too.
Interesting. All right, Nick just pulled up pictures of it. Thank you very much. Oh, okay.
Is it like a thong?
It's kind of like a thong, yeah. It holds the pad in place.
Right, and then there's a place for your derringer.
So I guess that was before they had like the adhesives.
Yeah.
That looks uncomfortable, man.
That weren't bad for your skin and so on. So at the time, that's what you did.
Preston, the first one used to go over the shoulders.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like suspended.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to have a big flow this time.
You could tell. You're wearing your sanitary suspenders. Yeah. All right, let's go through some entertainment stories. We'll start with Kate Winslet. She got candid with Netta Porter in an interview about her experience following the success of Titanic in 1997. She, who was 22 when the film came out, revealed that the fame that followed was horrible. She said, young women now know how to use their voice. I felt like in the aftermath of Titanic, I had to look a certain way or had to be a certain thing. And because media intrusion was so significant at that time, my life was quite unpleasant.
Yeah, you forget what a phenomenon that movie was.
Yeah.
And her and Leo DiCaprio were everywhere.
Yeah. And the difference now with social media and your ability to take control of your own PR.
You can release your own sex tapes.
Yeah, you can release. If you had a sex tape, you wanted to release it, you did it on your own terms.
Yes, absolutely.
Journalist, she said, would always say after Titanic, you could have done anything, and yet you chose to do these small things. And I was like, yeah, you bet your effing life I did. Because guess what? Being famous was horrible, she said. I was grateful, of course. I was in my early 20s, and I was able to get a flat, meaning an apartment.
Yeah, not a tire.
But I didn't want to be followed literally feeding the ducks.
You forget how, you don't forget, but I know Kathy is one of your favorite movies. She turns in a great performance in Titanic.
Yeah.
It's a very nuanced performance. Obviously, there's that big part of it where the ship sinks, but otherwise, it's a really great performance.
Did she win Best Actress?
I think she was nominated.
But, I mean, at that time, when you were a megastar, had a hit like that, then your life changed completely. Yes, you got money and success and all that stuff, but you're also confined to your movements. You couldn't go anywhere because there were people following you around all the time. So it was a bit rough on her, she says. Jon Stewart opened up to CBS Mornings on Monday about his decision to return as host of The Daily Show on Mondays through the 2024 election cycle. He said, I very much wanted to have some place to unload my thoughts as we get into this election season. His Apple TV Plus show, The Problem with Jon Stewart, was canceled in October after 2 seasons. He said, I thought I was going to do it over at, they call it Apple TV Plus. It's a television enclave, very small. It's like living in Malibu, he said. But he added, they decided that they felt that they didn't want me to say things that might get me in trouble. So that's why he says he's getting back on The Daily Show, which was that last night?
Last night, yeah. And got a very good response. I'll say this again. I'm standing by my assertion. I believe he will move back into the seat permanently.
And it's
at least do a run, especially at least with the impending election. He says he's just doing Mondays. We'll see how long that lasts. He seems to, this is his canvas.
Zone. Yep, it's his zone. He's great at it, and he likes doing it, so why not stick with it? And he got a nice little break there for a bit, so maybe he's ready to dive back into things.
Listen to what Kate Winslet said.
Please.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise reportedly has a new girlfriend. He is celebrating his 61st birthday today. The song is called Girlfriend. I love the song. And has been growing closer to Russian socialite Elsina Kairova, I guess is how you say it.
Oh, Tom Cruise, you're so tiny.
She's 36. He's 61. Over the past couple of months, they've been getting together, and now they are officially dating. An insider said it's well known within Elsina's circle that she and Tom are now an item.
Do you want some stinky on your hang down?
They said they've grown very close over the past few weeks, but take a lot of care not to be photographed together because they want to maintain their privacy.
And she's apparently very wealthy.
Tom has been, according to this insider, staying the night at Elsina's apartment, which, as you can imagine, is a very beautiful place. They enjoy hanging out together, and despite their wealth, do a lot of things that normal couples do.
Yeah, like what?
The pair both attended a gala dinner in support of London's Air Ambulance charity, where Prince William was the guest.
That's what regular people do.
Listen, we couldn't make it. Yeah. We had a gig that night, and we would have been there. But, though Cruz and Koryova arrived separately, friends told the outlet that it's not a surprise, as they've been spending most of their time behind closed doors at her multi-million-dollar apartment in Knightsbridde, London.
So if Tom Cruise is coming over to your house and going to hang out for a bit, what do you make sure is in the refrigerator, or at least snack-wise?
Oh, horseshoe crabs.
I'm thinking horseshoe crabs, because he's got the Scientology extra tooth, and circus peanuts.
However, the pair have stopped out incognito for strolls through Hyde Park, according to sources.
Just like regular people.
The two have also reportedly dined privately at several exclusive London restaurants. The two were first romantically linked late last year.
I bet they're taking in the strip clubs, all that stuff.
They were first romantically linked after reportedly canoodling at a party in London's ritzy Mayfair neighborhood in December.
Is it canoodling in London? Is there another word, or is it spelled differently or pronounced differently, like schedule?
I don't know. I've only heard
does sound like an English
word.
Yeah.
But they were hanging out in the Mayfair neighborhood in December, and that's where things kind of got started. So the Kansas City Chiefs' overtime victory against the 49ers is the longest Super Bowl game, and now recognized as the most watched program. One of the most watched programs in television history. Nielsen
amazing.
And Adobe Analytics reported an average of 123.4 million viewers across television and streaming platforms, surpassing last year's record of 115.1 million, so up quite significantly. The game was broadcast on CBS, Nickelodeon, and Univision, while also being streamed on Paramount Plus and NFL's digital platforms. And, of course, the Taylor Swift factor is being contributed in there as well.
Huge. I was looking at some sort of comparison. I don't know if I'm remembering this correctly, but I think it might be second overall to
the Apollo 11 moon landing. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
I assume that's in America.
Yeah.
I don't know if worldwide that's added in there or not.
Because there was a global audience for the moon landing.
Correct, yeah. So, yep, a lot of people watched it.
It's amazing.
Speaking of the Super Bowl, apparently people really loved Ben Affleck's Dunkin' Donuts commercial and the actor sports an orange and pink Dunk Kings tracksuit during the spot alongside Matt Damon and Tom Brady. And TMZ reports that the tracksuit sold out in just 19 minutes after they went up on the Dunkin' Donuts website on Monday.
God, I'd love one of those things.
I know. I didn't know they were for sale.
Yeah. Why didn't they let us know? We talk about Dunkin' all the time. We run on Dunkin'.
We do run on Dunkin'. And maybe it's our in to get them. I don't know. But we'll have to see. But they are quite colorful. And they sold out very, very quickly. Also, during the bowl, photos of Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, and Ice Spice attending the game together were all over social media. Meanwhile, Lively's husband, Ryan Reynolds, shared a photo of himself watching the game at home to Instagram, standing in front of the television with his Deadpool character on the screen. The Free Guy actor wrote, "Has everyone seen the Deadpool trailer? Also, anyone seen my wife?" So,
did you see the comparison between the Taylor Swift suite and the Kardashian suite?
No.
So they cut to a picture of the Kardashians, Preston. They are all lined out, sitting in their chairs on their phones.
Of course.
Yeah, all of them.
Of course. Makes total sense. Courtney Cox took to Instagram on Sunday to wish her longtime friend, Jennifer Aniston, a happy 55th birthday. The actor shared one of her favorite clips from Friends in which Rachel complains to Chandler about Monica breaking her seashell lamp. And she wrote, "Not sure why this is one of my favorite clips. I guess it's because nobody else in the world could make this line sound so cute." And then she wrote, "Happy birthday, my sweet Jenny Louise. Also, don't know why I call her that, but I sure do love you." So I don't know why she calls her Jenny Louise.
I think that they're friends. The friends are actually friends. I love the reunion thing that they did. And they obviously did it, now that Matthew Perry's gone.
Yeah.
They're able to do it with everyone intact at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So going back real quick to Super Bowl and commercials, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito reunited during a State Farm Insurance commercial. And the pair spoke with Entertainment Tonight in an interview published the same day about whether they'd be teaming up again. Danny said, "When we lost Ivan Reitman, who directed Twins, rest his soul. He said, we were about to work with him again on a sequel for Twins. He said, I think where my head is, and I think Arnold's in the same spot, we want to work together. We want to do another movie together. Whether it's a sequel or a new element, that's another story. Just has to be good, funny, entertaining for us, fits our characters and what people want to see. And that's what we're aiming for. Speaking of their on-screen chemistry, Arnold said, when we did Twins, we recognized when we did the first few scenes how much fun we were together and how Danny plays off me and I play off Danny. And it's just a match made in heaven.
Do you think they'd be adventurous enough to go in a little bit more dramatic, like a remake of Philadelphia? Schwarzenegger's Tom Hanks and DeVito as Antonio Banderas?
Wow. I don't know. And then you need a Denzel character.
Yes.
Somebody's also, you got to bring in another heavy hitter to play that.
Who'd you bring in?
That's a good question. I don't know. But it would be fun to see them work together. I don't know if I think something other than Twins.
Yes. Twins,
you know what I mean?
For as much as I enjoyed Twins.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. Do something else.
But do something else.
Yeah.
I think it might be
Predator?
Triplets.
It might be too tough. Well, they had thought about doing that.
Yeah.
They had thought about having a third.
Was it Eddie Murphy was supposed to? They had a black sibling.
I've forgotten what the original concept of that was, but there was going to be like another
an anomalous third
child.
Yeah.
Arnold posted last night, Steve, a meme of triplets, and it's him, Danny DeVito, and Jake from State Farm.
I love that.
All right, Jennifer Lopez revealed in an interview published in The Hollywood Reporter on Monday that she funded her narrative-driven cinematic original film called This Is Me Now, a love story on her own. The 65-minute musical premiere on Prime Video will premiere on Prime Video on Friday. And she said, everybody thought I was crazy when I said that I would do it. We did have financing, and then that fell out. They pulled out at the last minute, and then it was that moment where you go, okay, we'll just do a video, or we'll go ahead and do this thing. So she went ahead and paid for it.
Did she mention Ben Affleck or Jennifer Garner?
No, neither one of them.
I'd like to apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy, Ben Affleck, for incorporating them into my fantasy life.
You're just getting one today.
That's it.
All right.
I apologize to anyone who's been offended by my fictional creations, Chrysagon, the Philosopher of Evil, and the Skull Sealer.
Do you think Affleck is... do you think... Because that actually made the rounds. That was a sort of a media thing when this guy was giving his...
Oh, this thing? Yeah.
I wonder if Affleck is aware of that and if he finds it amusing.
Chrysagon, Skull Sealer? Maybe. I don't know, man. Pretty hard to find that humorous.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody's invoking Chrysagon, the Skull Sealer, and you in the same...
I know.
Statement? I don't know.
Maybe time heals all wounds.
Speaking of J-Lo, she has hinted she might be retiring from music with her latest album, This Is Me Now, possibly being her last. Yeah,
I don't think
she's your fave.
She is set to release that album on the 16th this week. And recently explained why she might be done with dropping more music in the future. She told E.T., she sat down with E.T.
So is this going to be your last album?
She explained the different album covers that they did for fans. And she said, the truth is, I don't even know if I'll ever make another album after this.
Can I give you a rectal exam? I am an alien.
But your fingers are so long.
I'm going to turn on your sphincter light.
She said it's the kind of quintessential kind of Jennifer Lopez J-Lo project.
Have you ever met the Skull Sealer?
And I really feel
We're at war with his planet.
Fulfilled. So that they will be collector's items at a certain point.
She looks terrific in that Dunkin' commercial.
She does.
Did you see her perform on, Saturday Night Live, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Listen, she's always been capable and competent, and she's that kind of music. So, she's,
It's not
legit.
my kind of music, but I thought she looked great.
She looks great. And by the way, again, legitimately as an actress, or that rom-com she did with Owen Wilson, that recent one, I like that movie.
Yeah.
I like her in that stuff.
By the way, we have some details on Chrysagon and the Skull Sealer.
I had forgotten all of these details.
In just a moment. Let me finish this statement.
All right.
After Lopez dropped the bomb that she was unsure of making another album, she said, don't tell Benny Medina that's what I'm thinking. This might be my last album
You
ever.
ready for a bomb?
This is me. This Is Me Now is Lopez's 9th studio album, a sequel to her 3rd studio album, which is This Is Me Then, which was released in 2002. Okay, so Nick pulled up this information. I can't believe you found this, Nick. This is from 2005.
2005.
That's how old the clip is.
So his name was, let me see here. It says, the headline is, Man Who Kept Dead Mom in Freezer Sentenced. That's what he did.
That was the crime.
I didn't know that.
Oh, man.
It says here, a recluse who kept his dead mother in his freezer and shot at his neighbors when they came to his door was sentenced to 7 years in prison.
Which means he's out.
Yeah. According to the district attorney, it said, obviously, it's a very serious crime. On the other hand, he had some unique issues in his upbringing that contributed to it, which is probably treatable.
So it's not suggested that he just kept the body had he killed her.
His last name, it just says his last name is Schuth. S-C-H-U-T-H.
I think it was Steven from another article that I saw his first name.
Isolated childhood and hermit-like existence as an adult. We all learned how to deal with minor conflict because we're taught and brought up to do that, and he wasn't.
Wow.
He had said that he fantasized about being married to Alias star Jennifer Garner at his sentencing. He said, I apologize, Jennifer Garner, and her pool boy.
I'd like to apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy, Ben Affleck, for incorporating them into my fantasy life.
Boy,
I apologize to anyone who's been offended by my fictional creations, Chrysagon, the philosopher of evil, and the skull sealer.
Dude.
Okay. So, yeah. Apparently,
I'm waiting for that movie.
He did not care for Ben Affleck very much.
Do you think Ben Affleck would play this guy in a movie?
Oh,
wouldn't that be wild?
could you imagine that?
Talk about meta.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to mention this. Steve sent me this article over. A Sea Isle City man who punched Fox 29's Bob Kelly in the face at a summer fundraiser was sentenced to 3 years probation in order to pay restitution. Patrick Iannone, 22 years old, was also given a warning Monday morning to address his alcohol and mental health issues before it is too late. The judge, Christine Smith, said, you need to know, sir, that the next step for you is out the back door to state prison. Iannone was charged with aggravated assault after he poured a beer on Kelly and punched him in the face at the Orr House pub in Sea Isle on July 3rd. Kelly was at the bar emceeing a charity event for St. Christopher's Hospital for Children.
I mean, who's nicer than Bob Kelly, for Christ's sake?
Iannone stood in a dark blue suit, nodding at Smith's stern words. Kelly did not attend the brief hearing. He told the court, I would like to apologize to Mr. Kelly.
Oh, come on.
I apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy, Ben Affleck, for incorporating them into my
Ladies and
fantasy
gentlemen, we have a
life.
guest apologer.
I apologize to anyone who's been offended by my fictional creations, Chrysagon, the philosopher of evil, and the skull sealer.
And I said, I want to apologize to Mr. Kelly, and I'm very sorry for what I did.
This is just a criminal trial, but there's a civil case against him as well, correct?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I assume that's going to be the case. I don't think Bob would let it just...
It didn't say so in the article.
Yeah.
In a victim's impact statement, Kelly submitted to the court. The longtime traffic anchor said that he continues to have vision problems, including, quote, black spots that kind of make me think that there's a mosquito or bug flying around. He said he suffers from headaches and a possible concussion and may need plastic surgery for a scar under his eye.
I mean, he was hosting a charity event, and this dude, for no reason, came over, poured a beer on him, and punched him.
Kelly said there's a sense of unease whenever I'm at an event or in a crowd, something that is part of my life and part of my job as a news anchor. He said that the blow left him bleeding and unconscious. His daughter was there and witnessed the attack as well. He spoke about the assault on Fox 29 shortly after it happened, calling it frightening, disturbing event, apparently incited by a TikTok challenge. A month before Iannone had punched Kelly, he had pleaded guilty to simple assault stemming from an incident at the Dead Dog Saloon in Sea Isle.
So this is like a big joke.
Prior to that, he also had an alcohol-related offense while visiting a friend at the University of Tennessee that was, according to his attorney, John Tumulty, dismissed.
So I was talking to somebody who knows this guy a little bit, and basically said when they heard this story in Sea Isle, they were like, makes sense.
Expected
like
that kind of
dude's at it again. Yeah. So Tumulty told Smith his client suffers from depression and alcohol abuse and has been in inpatient facilities in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and California since the Kelly assault. Ionon's mother, retired Seattle City police captain Rosemary Milano.
His mother?
Yeah.
Oh,
and his father,
no.
Joseph Ionon, sat stoically just feet behind their son.
Was it you, Casey, who talked to Bob right after this? And he said he was going full bore with a...
Oh, yeah. He said he's going to make an example.
Right,
of him if
right.
he can. You know, he wasn't just going to brush this off with an apology. So Kelly, in his statement, said Ionon needed a harsher sentence to learn his lesson. So he's saying that, you know, he wants him to held to the full extent.
Right.
Kelly wrote, I was still in the hospital bed when the defendant was already out of the police station and back at the bar. Ionon, who told Smith he worked at a Seattle City department store, was ordered to pay $5,000 in restitution in $100 a month payments. So we'll see where this goes. One last story. Adam Sandler has set a new comedy special at Netflix. This time it'll be directed by Josh Safdie. The project continues Sandler's string of collaborations with Safdie. Is it Safdie or Safdie? Anyway, who had co-directed him in Uncut Gems alongside his brother Benny. Sandler also starred in the brothers' 2020 short film Goldman vs. Silverman and is set to lead an upcoming feature set in the world of sports memorabilia to be directed by Josh and produced by Benny.
Is this going to be a comedy or serious?
That I don't know, though the latter told Variety in January that the film is on pause. Currently untitled, the special will be Sandler's second at Netflix, following up on his 2018 set 100% Fresh, which went on to receive a 90% fresh score on Rotten Tomatoes. Sandler has worked on numerous projects for Netflix. In 2023, he led the voice cast of the animated musical comedy film Leo, starred opposite Idina Menzel in You Were So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah, and he played an NBA scout and, of course, Jeremiah Zager's Hustler. He also did Murder Mystery, Murder Mystery 2, Hubie Halloween, The Week of, Sandy Wexler, The Do-Over, and The Ridiculous Six, all with Netflix.
The Ridiculous Six is a lot of fun.
So he's been working with them for quite a bit, but he's got a comedy special coming out.
Ah, interesting. All right, let's see how that goes.
All right, ready for the clips. Last season of FBI ended with the team catching a rampant and methodical serial killer. And in this clip, Zico Zaki, who plays OA, talks about tonight's premiere. Here we go.
We start off this season with a close to the chess case where you get to see sort of a different team out in the field, a different dynamic. Hopefully it works out. We'll see if it does, but there's definitely a nice traditional aspect to the beginning of our season where you see the team together and we're all out there trying to solve a crime.
I don't give a
FBI Season 6 premieres tonight on CBS. And then finally, in the beginning of La Brea, a massive sinkhole opened up at the tar pits, leaving the survivors trapped in a mysterious primeval land. And in this clip, star John Seda talks about the closer the finale provides. Here we go.
We only had 6 episodes for this season, so to David Applebaum and his writing team, there's a lot of questions that a lot of the fans have, and I think they did an amazing job in getting to all those answers.
Thing sucks.
Part 2 of the La Brea series finale airs tonight. By the way, in the last 30 minutes, a blanket of white has appeared in our area here in Bala Cynwyd. It
sure has.
When I started the entertainment report, it was just snow. Just rain. We have now gotten a bit of snow in the area, so heads up. It's going to impact the drive this morning. So just a heads up. Nick, you wanted to say something? I'm sorry.
And I was just going to say something about La Brea. It's one of those tourist destinations that's worth it. It's cheesy, but the La Brea tar pits are a lot of fun. And if you're ever in LA, it's like right in the middle of downtown Los Angeles.
It's just sitting there. Yeah.
And like you wouldn't know it. There's skyscrapers all around it, but it's a really cool exhibit. And like there's this thing where you can try and pull a plunger out of the tar pits. It's really difficult.
Okay.
I swear to God, it's fun.
Fake dinosaurs?
Yes, fake dinosaurs.
Nice.
You couldn't get real ones.
All right, we don't have that here, but we do have a winter wonderland as we are feeling the snow in our area. Supposedly, it's going to be a pretty quick in and out dump that we're going to get, and probably like an inch and a half or something along those lines. But it's going to make a slushy mix on the drive.
And then in the afternoon, they say the sun will be peeking out.
Sun's supposed to be. We might have some breaks of sun, but it's only going to go till the snow's only going to go till lunchtime or so. So it should be great for Galentine's Day.
All the national news services have been stressing that our Galentine's Day festival should not be impacted.
And so that's at Rivers. We've given away all the invites. So we will, if you are one of the few that grabbed that, we will see you there this evening. We do have some stuff planned, but we have some other things planned here too. Tattoos Day. Text word tattoo to 39333. And when we come back from this commercial break, you will get to hear the brand new Pearl Jam song called Dark Matter. I have not heard it yet, so I am interested to sample that along with you. So let's get into it. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with that. A few other things as well this morning we'll tell you about when we return. Stay with us.
Everything. And that's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Kath. Got a text that says, good morning, We already have 3 or 4 inches in Lancaster County. Wow. That's from Concrete Rob in New Holland, PA.
Yeah, what we're seeing out the window here, this is formidable stuff.
That came in, that is some of the quickest I've seen. Because literally, when we started that break at 6:30,
it was rain.
It was rain, and then by the time we finished it, 30 minutes later, not only were you seeing snow flurries, but the road is covered.
Yeah, I did.
Which normally that does not happen that quick.
All the schools.
Wow,
Kathy, in the city, that's a delay, right?
I didn't understand that. A lot of it are doing virtual. Our school is virtual.
Me too.
But the 2-hour delay, you're just going to be in the middle of it. That's Philly for you.
They're going to amend it, right?
Yeah, maybe they'll change it. We'll see about that. But well, anyhow, be safe, friend. It's gonna be heavy for a few hours, but then by the time we get to lunchtime, it should settle down a bit.
It's going to end, and again, as we said before, the sun will be out in the afternoon. So,
So we're hoping for good things for our Galentine's Day party tonight, Rivers. We've never done this before. By the way. The night before Valentine's Day. Galentine's Day, I was looking on an article from Webster's, the dictionary.
Right.
I don't think they've officially put it in the dictionary, but they went ahead and kind of discussed the definition of it all. And it was introduced, as according to Galentine's Day specifically, the word was introduced to the world by the chipper and dedicated Leslie Knope, the fictional deputy director of the Parks and Recreation Department of the also fictional city of Pawnee, Indiana, the NBC comedy Parks and Recreation. And she came up with it. We have a clip of that.
Yes, we have 2 clips, actually, where she talks about the
origin.
The origin and how you observe it.
All right, here we go. This is the first clip.
Galentine's Day. Oh, it's only the best day of the year. Every February 13th, my lady friends and I leave our husbands and our boyfriends at home, and we just come and kick it breakfast style. Ladies celebrating ladies.
So it
goes on. In this quote, it says, "It's like Lilith Fair minus the angst plus frittatas."
All right,
I love that.
Yeah, it's shifted from a breakfast, and it's just it seems to be more an evening get together. But she also goes on to explain, Preston.
All right, here we go.
Anytime a group of women get together for brunch, we embody the spirit of the holiday. Today, we will celebrate friendship, spend a few hours together, and happy Galentine's Day.
By the way, speaking of brunch, I'm not a big brunch fanatic. Are you into brunch?
I love brunch.
Really? What is it you like about it?
Like as far as the food goes, or you just mean the whole? I mean, for me, it just because it means mimosas. So you're gonna have a couple drinks, and it sort of like extends. If I go out for a brunch, I'm not just out for brunch hours. That's like I'm going to be gone for the day.
Okay.
I'm not down with like a buffet brunch.
You sitting down at the table and then bringing you stuff?
Well, I just think you overpay for a buffet brunch. I'd rather sit down and just order what I want to order. So I'm down with it.
Do you feel beholden to have more breakfasty type of things at brunch?
Probably. Okay. I probably lean way more towards breakfast.
Okay, sometimes I'm in the mood for lunch.
Yeah.
And then I show up and they're serving brunch and I'm like,
where's the lunch, you bastards?
Yeah, I'm not really feeling it.
In fact, one of my favorite brunches, Preston, that you would mention that happened to have really good lunch, like burgers and stuff and sandwiches and things. And so that was part of it. I agree, though. I'm not an early day big meal dude. It's not the way I roll. But, I get what you're saying, Kathy. Brunch is usually an entree to a magical, wonderful day of activities.
So after they debuted Galentine's Day in 2010, the word was mentioned in episodes that aired in 2012, 2014, and 2016. Evidence of the word's appeal was starting to show up in national and international publications as people everywhere embraced the very idea of a holiday celebrating friendships. And then they go on to say that it's kind of transcending just the ladies,
yes,
and that it's more for just a friendship type of thing.
And dudes who start sororities.
Yes, when men start sororities.
Which was really, I would say it was sort of an edict, just, I don't want to say there were other governments involved that asked us to do this, but that's why we created a sorority. We attempted to join a sorority like at Villanova or whatever, and they were very eager, but the actual school itself found it problematic that a bunch of men would join a sorority.
I think somewhere in the bylaws it says that you can't.
You can't be. So we created our own, and in so doing have created the most formidable, I think the greatest sorority. And so, but Galentine's Day is a perfect fit. Now, Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong, but for a while the complexion of Galentine's Day was for, I thought, people who perhaps weren't seeing anybody or just wanted to get, it's always been about,
I mean, at least for us, that was not the case. No, it was just a day for. It was another girls' day. There's actually these videos out there that I've been watching where I forget who the comedian is, but anyway, he makes fun of women whenever just coming up for any reason for like a girls' day or like I need a weekend away with my girlfriends, and he's like, really, you do? Why? But so it was just another. At least for us, it was just another reason for a night out, and we'd go have dinner, we do a little shopping event, and that's sort of what we do every year.
Yeah. And in the show, she says, we leave our boyfriends and husbands at home. So the word follows in the footsteps of Friendsgiving, which was added to the Merriam-Webster.com website in January 2020, defined as a celebration or meal shared among friends on or near Thanksgiving Day. And that came about through TV show Friends, was it?
Friends.
I think so.
God, maybe?
Yeah. I thought it was. And its comedic pedigree also places in the lineage of Spam. Okay, unsolicited mail. It was a nod to Monty Python's Flying Circus skit in which a chanting group used the word spam over and over and overrides the other dialogue. That's where that came from.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow.
As well as Debbie Downer, popularized, if not introduced, by a Saturday Night Live sketch with Rachel Dratch. While some have complained that Galentine's Day excludes anyone who's not a woman, efforts to assert its inclusivity are afoot, with some claiming it's, in fact, for celebrating any kind of friendship.
We bucked that trend a while ago when we created our own sorority.
That is right.
That's all you have to do. Create your own sorority. Guys.
And remember, if there's a group you can't be a part of, make your own.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did. So we're going to be spending our time with our gal pals tonight.
Yep, that'll be tonight. So we are doing our Galentine's Day party. Looking forward to that event. And with all of that, and with Valentine's Day being tomorrow, there was an article that came out about our state, about Pennsylvania's top romantic comedy movies.
Yeah, so they
Rom Coms.
They surveyed, I guess, all the states and got their top picks for rom coms.
Correct. Yeah, PR Hub, a creative communications and PR agency, sought to find out which of 30 romantic comedies represented the most in each state. Its survey found that in 21 states, Clueless was the top spot.
I love Clueless. I consider Clueless a perfect movie.
But that didn't make the top 5 in Pennsylvania.
What?
Oh, no. So I have the top 5 if you guys want to know.
Yeah.
Number 1, well, I'll start with number 5. Valentine's Day, which I never saw.
It's pretty good. It's star-studded.
Is Jennifer Garner in that movie?
Yeah.
Or am I wrong?
Pool boy in it?
Skull Sealer.
I don't know if the pool boy's in it.
I'd like to apologize to Jennifer Garner and her pool boy, Ben Affleck, for incorporating them into my fantasy life.
Do you know also shows up the Skull Sealer?
He does.
I apologize to anyone who's been offended by my fictional creations, Chrysagon, the philosopher of evil, and the skull sealer.
Yeah, I remember I saw it once. I thought it was cute.
I never saw it.
Yeah.
Was it akin to what's the Christmas movie?
Love Actually?
Love Actually.
Love Actually. Intertwining multiple stories.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
But I did never see it. So Julia Roberts, Bradley Cooper, Jessica Alba, Jamie Foxx. I'm just looking at the pictures of all these people. McSteamy, Dreamy, whoever, what's his face?
Patrick, whatever.
Patrick Dempsey.
Patrick Starr.
Eric Dane, Emma Roberts, Taylor Lautner.
Yeah, Topher Grace, Anne Hathaway, Ashton Kutcher, Queen Latifah. It's one of those.
Tons of romantic stories in motion. Yeah.
Taylor Swift is in it.
What?
Yeah. Shut up. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. When she was dating Taylor Lautner, right?
That's right.
Tay squared. Taylor and Taylor.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I never did see it. All right. Also on this list is Bridget Jones's Diary.
Fun movie.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I do enjoy that one. It was making the rounds not too long ago. The Princess Bride is one of the top rom-coms.
I don't know if I consider that a rom-com.
It's definitely a love story.
It is a love story.
But
and I guess it is a comedy.
It's definitely a comedy.
But I don't consider it a rom-com.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Right?
Yeah.
Because a portion of the story is the relationship between the grandfather and son as he's reading in the story.
And that is a sexual relationship.
No, it is not. No, it is not.
Play that game we play.
So,
tell you what we're going to do.
Dude.
You guess which finger.
Then you have When Harry Met Sally.
Okay.
That is one of the penultimate.
That's one of the all-time great rom-coms.
That is, if you were going to try to explain what a rom-com is to somebody and you needed to use an example, that would be the example.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kabooyah.
And then number one in Pennsylvania is Pretty Woman.
Still haven't seen it.
Casey's
not all the way through. I've seen.
Never seen it?
Nah. Does she wash her pits in the sink or something like that?
Yeah.
At some point, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably at the beginning.
And she uses a milkshake.
When she was a low-rent prostitute.
Right.
And then eventually she becomes more of a high-priced prostitute, and then she becomes a lady.
She uses a ninja mixer to douche.
At the end.
But I'll tell you this, Case, it had been the longest time where I'd only seen parts of it.
Yeah.
And only just about 8-9 years ago, I saw it in its full contiguous version. It's a cute movie. It's a good movie.
There's a few rom-coms that I'm a sucker for. Sweet Home Alabama is one of them.
Love it.
You know what I like also? The Truth About Cats and Dogs.
Oh, yeah.
With Janine Garofalo.
I think that's a cute, and Uma Thurman. I think it's a cute movie.
I like over the last decade or so, Crazy Stupid Love has worked its way into my top 5.
Crazy Stupid Love. Who's in that?
Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling.
He's
Kevin Bacon.
Emma Stone?
Emma Stone. Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good.
All right.
You should watch it.
I'm a sucker for Wedding Singer. I think.
That's great.
To me, that is. Man, if I had to, I don't even know how I would. But if I had to rank a top 5, right now, just without really even thinking on it that much, it would be my number 1.
Number 1 for Wedding Singer.
Nick just pulled up the ad for Crazy Stupid Love. I watched part of that. I had never seen it, and it was on one day, and I just happened upon it. And I couldn't tell if I liked it or not.
There's some twists at the end that you don't quite see coming, which I think are really cool. And it's a really good movie.
Ryan Gosling kind of trains him to be a bit of a womanizer.
He gets separated from his wife, and his wife is played by Julianne Moore. And then ultimately he realizes he still loves her.
Okay.
So in the realm of just non-com but romantic movies, what jumps out as a fave of yours? Do you consider what's that?
Say anything.
Say anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Say Anything. So Say Anything is actually comedic in ways.
Right.
I wonder, but that's not traditionally
it's not a rom-com.
Referred to as a rom-com.
No.
Yeah, because there's some, he's incarcerated, Lloyd. So, no, there's some heavy moments in that movie. It's not lighthearted all the way through.
She has issues.
So, you're thinking of your standard love story film?
I'll tell you one that's jumped up to the top, and it's a musical. We talk about it. La La Land.
I love La La Land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't end the way.
No.
But it ends a way that is interesting.
Right.
More Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Those guys are so romantic.
Yeah. Kathy, I've noticed you've not jumped in on this kind
I
of
don't know
she's
any
more,
of these.
She's more Tarantino stuff.
No, I've seen all of them, but I have a hard time remembering the name of it and which movie it was. I've seen every single one that you've said, but I probably couldn't tell you the plot line unless I watched it again.
Clueless is, for me, that is hilarious throughout. The cast is tremendous. She actually, Alicia Silverstone was basically that character Cher at the time, so it all works.
Never seen it.
Never saw it.
Got to see it.
I think you dig it. It has a very Fast Times at Ridgemont High sensibility. It's a sharper comedy.
Nick pulled up Notting Hill.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that. And also 9 Months with Hugh Grant. I think that's a kind of an underrated romance. I guess
Julianne Moore.
rom-com. Yeah, more Julianne Moore, yeah.
Do you know it's
Robin Williams is really good in that movie, too.
Preston, an untraditional rom-com is Two Girls and a Cup.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
there is love there. There's some kind of love.
Absolutely. The music's beautiful.
That happens.
We used to have the music for it.
We still do.
Yeah.
In that film. But...
Are recent ones is Forgetting Sarah Marshall and I Love You Man, are those rom-coms?
Oh, yes. Well, Forgetting Sarah Marshall is.
And I Love You Man too, right? Isn't it?
Well, yes, it's more a bromance.
Yeah. I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, that would be a bromance, but oh my God.
It's beautiful. This is the sonata.
This is the music from Two Girls in a Cup.
I wonder if they actually went to a composer and like James Horner
and describe what's going to be taking place. Yeah.
I'm going to send you a rough cut.
Still never saw it, and I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, oh my God, you don't want to see it.
I know.
Wouldn't want to see it.
Not without your family.
No. All right, so anyhow, should you feel the need to dive into a rom-com, Pennsylvania's top picks are Pretty Woman, When Harry Met Sally, Princess Bride, Bridget Jones' Diary of Valentine's Day.
Kathy, texturally speaking, what kind of movies do it for you? If it's not like, if you're not jumping in on the rom-com going, oh my God, you got mail, When Harry Met Sally.
I said I've seen all of them. I do like them. I just like they
all seem
the title.
The same.
Yeah, they all seem to like mesh together. But I like them. I've seen. Yeah, there are plenty that are great. But
you're more action.
Like my like Titanic or Pretty Woman, like that. Where obviously was like one of my favorite movies. I guess I don't really have like a rom-com that's my favorite.
Titanic the most romantic movie ever made? Because it obviously keys off that.
It's just as one. It's just I just love it. It's just one of my favorite movies. All of it. But yeah, I mean, romantic wise, yeah, sure.
All right.
The most romantic movie ever made.
Oh, Casablanca.
Casablanca, a lot of people would say.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
It is a great movie, and it was a movie that is an improbable movie. It was, okay, let's finally do this thing, and it took off. If I'm thinking the most... Well, I also love the musical An American in Paris. What would be another romance? All that Nicholas... We were talking about Nicholas Sparks stuff.
Yeah,
all that stuff is... Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know. I'm more the comedy than the heavy drama love story thing. But I'm sure American President is a nice love story too.
Yeah.
Like Rochelle and I always like that one.
Of the list, I pulled up a list, Preston, and one near the top is Dirty Dancing, among the most romantic movies ever made.
Yes. Kathy, that's one of your favorite. How could you forget that one?
That
real quick, age-wise, what was not in real life, but in the movie?
Baby and Johnny. It's a good question.
She's probably supposed to be like 16, right?
And he's definitely
in his 20s.
Yeah.
For sure.
Kathy, if you're going to rank your favorite, so up in the top of the romance movies, would you put Transformers: Age of Extinction?
Yeah. Wait, I don't think she was supposed to be that young.
She's supposed to be like a young
17
teenager.
Yeah, coming of age.
Right, and he is 25.
He's 41.
It was a different time.
It was.
It was a different time when they set the movie.
Listen,
it was
I
a different
know
time.
you've been violating my daughter all over the resort, but I
made
want
the
to tell
movie.
you you're A-okay.
You can dance, so it's all good.
At that time, you wanted your 17-year-old to be with a 25, not a dancer, but a 25-year-old,
Successful.
established.
I want my 11-year-old to meet a nice 25-year-old young businessman.
Yeah, but that was
It's a different time in the Catskills.
1950s or
Right.
late 1950s.
But I always go, okay. And listen, 25 and 17, that's only 8 years. It's not that much now. But like at 25 and
It's
17,
illegal.
It's illegal. Well, but at that time, I don't know if it was illegal.
And the Catskills.
But also, like, hey, 25-year-old, why don't you maybe hang out and find somebody your age-ish?
But listen, remember, Johnny was initially, he was like brushing her off. She was a kid, get away from me and everything. And then they had to do this dancing thing because Penny was pregnant. We could go through the whole story.
No. Penny was in trouble.
Penny was in trouble.
Yeah.
That's right. And of course, the dad blamed Johnny immediately.
Because he's one of those club dancers up at the Catskills.
Right.
He's riff-raff.
Yeah.
He had a DA.
Yeah. A duck's ass, right?
Yeah.
That's what a DA means. So, anyhow, all right, go see a romantic movie, if you would, please.
While you're snowbound, at least till noon.
It's a good time to do it. And we've got our Galentine Day party tonight, by the way. So if you're headed out, it should be good weather-wise. And I saw this one other thing I thought it was worth bringing up because we're talking about romance and Valentine's Day and all that stuff. The most common sex injuries that happen in the bedroom.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this was according to a survey that was done in the United Kingdom, but I would imagine it'd be similar here too.
They probably use the word tallywhacker.
The number one injury in the bedroom.
Okay.
Oh,
what do you
hang
think?
on.
I think Casey's right. I think it's going to be a cramp.
Okay. No, it's carpet burns.
Oh.
Yeah. Rug burns.
Oh, yeah. I've rocked some heavy damage.
And not even realize you
because
afterwards.
Everything is pumping and pumping. And
65% of people say that, or the respondents say that carpet burns was the most common injury.
Like not from your bed sheets, but
from the carpet
from
store.
the actual but from doing it on the carpet.
Probably.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And Preston's right. When you're in the throes of passion, your pain receptors are kind of numb.
Yep.
And you don't realize till the next day until you're wheelchair bound.
Second is bruises. People have walked away with bruises from time to time. I really usually consider that an injury, but they do in this. Number 3, pulled muscle. So that would probably go with cramps, Casey.
Yeah.
That sucks. If you're in the middle of it, now that you can't avoid. The pain of an actual cramp.
It's going to happen.
And like a Charlie horse or something like that.
Oh, your hip flexor?
That's not good. You can get away with a carpet burn, but the pulled muscle will stop things immediately. Number 4, they consider a UTI an injury in the bedroom. Yeah, urinary tract infection.
Well, no. I think
that doesn't happen right away, though.
It's not like, I just got a UTI.
It's also not only caused by sex.
Right.
Well,
yes,
but
it can be.
That's like saying an injury in the bedroom would be syphilis.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, you just syphilised me. Oh, I just pulled my gonorrhea.
Number 5 is a back injury.
There you go.
I could see that happening. Number 6, for the ladies, a tear in the region. Yeah.
Up front or back?
Up front.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't know what you're into.
Number 7, it says hemorrhoids.
No, that's not. Oh, you just hemorrhoided me.
An injury?
Maybe if one pops out like a bullet.
Well, yeah. Do you get them from
beer? Wait a minute. What is?
Ow! Oh my God! Your hemorrhoid just embedded in my shoulder.
Wait, you got something right there. Beer.
That's not a bedroom injury.
All right,
hemorrhoid.
So
no, it's a speed bump.
Yeah.
Well, I just looked it up because I didn't know it could cause it, but they're talking about butt stuff. So
yeah.
And I guess it can.
The way
it can be a result.
Well, the way this is framed though is in the throes of passion. You're doing something. The rug burn. The pull, the tear.
Yeah,
hemorrhoids.
I wouldn't see that.
Like spontaneous hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids and
what is that like
over
stigmata? Right?
Yeah, I think AIDS hurts more.
Oh, you just AIDSed me.
Number 8 is a tear in the other department.
Oh,
and that can go for men or women, obviously. And then you have number 9 is a penis fracture.
Right.
You do hear of that from time to time. The broken penis. There's a way for that to happen.
Yes. My friend had a dramatic incident.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. This was years ago. This is our friend Scott. I remember her. And he was out of commission for quite a while.
Oh, man.
Yeah, out of commission for quite a while.
Wow. Then you have number 10, a stuck foreign object.
Right.
These are most common injuries in the bedroom.
Like a shovel.
Anything, really.
How?
Yeah.
Listen, Lou, I've been your urologist for many years. How? Well, I left a handle out.
A shovel. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I have to double back. Number 9 was a penis fracture. Number 11 is a broken penis.
The same thing?
Apparently, there's a difference between the fracture.
That's a movie with John Travolta.
And a break. Broken penis?
Broken arrow. I'm sorry.
Broken arrow. Okay. And then the last one, number 12, is a broken bone of some type.
So, of the worst of the injuries you've had, what I would assume, I've had cramp and I've had carpet burns.
Yeah, definitely.
I've never had spontaneous hemorrhoids.
Never. No, it's been the cramp. I'm sure I've gotten bruises.
I've had the cuck nut show up
before. The cuck nut?
The cuck not show up.
Oh, not show up. I thought you said, I've had the cuck nut.
I like cuck nut.
The cuck nut showed up.
And if it's not a sex act, it's got to be a cereal. Cuck nuts.
Start your day off with a nutritious bowl of cuck nuts.
Preston, sugar frosted cuck nuts. They just came out.
When you wake in the morning and you need
I'm
to
Morgan
rise.
Freeman.
Yeah.
I never stopped a day without a big bowl of cuck nuts.
Morgan Freeman would be a perfect spokesperson for that. Wow. Yeah, I think
It's a cereal that likes to watch.
Cramps. I don't know. I don't think I've ever. You know what? I've liked banged foreheads or something like that.
Oh my
before.
God! Yeah.
And maybe some bruises, but never anything worse than that. Anybody have any bad injuries?
Never.
A profound spasm, like a pole, and I remember that was like a Charlie horse level.
Yeah.
All right, Nick looked up cuck nut on the Urban Dictionary.
That was a new Google search for me, Steve. I enjoyed it. Yeah, thanks.
All right, I'll be careful here.
Hey, this is a good one.
Good luck.
When you are violently knocked out right before you finish, but you can still do that in the unconscious state, therefore removing all the satisfaction of it.
So you're completing without being aware.
I like the example sentence.
Correct. I can't touch that. I can't touch that.
No?
You and MC Hammer.
No, it says I was pleasuring myself for over an hour. Then my roommate hit me with a bat in the head. What a effing cuck nut, it says.
Okay, so thus robbing you of the sentient experience.
Of the pleasure.
It becomes just a mechanical experience.
Of wrapping things up.
That's a cuck nut.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody has to add to the Urban Dictionary the new cereal endorsed by Morgan Freeman.
Hi, I'm Morgan Freeman.
I love it.
Sometimes mornings can be sluggish.
You need to start your day off with a nutritious bowl.
It's the greatest day at Shawshank when they introduced cuck nuts. It's beautiful pastoral music. What is the name of this piece, by the way? It's a classic.
I call it morning music. It's Edgar
Allan Cucknut.
Edvard Grieg.
Edvard Grieg.
Right.
Yeah, but I do not know the name of it. All right, anyhow, be careful in the bedroom.
Out there.
As you're getting ready to celebrate Valentine's Day. And if you are not celebrating Valentine's Day and you would like to wipe away your ex,
yes,
we're going to help you do that.
And not everything is blissful.
We have year after year, you hear these little promotions that maybe a zoo is doing where they will, sometime recently we saw veterinary was naming cats after your exes and then they will neuter them.
Yeah.
Well, now we're going to do this because we've seen other places that will have animals possibly poop on names and so on. But we are taking your names of exes and we are writing them on this roll of toilet paper that we have here. Casey has it in the studio. He's scrolling it now on our camera of the names of exes. And Casey will do what you do with toilet paper.
Yes.
He's going to wipe his butt.
It'll be an expression.
His butt with the name of your ex.
A non-violent act of revenge.
Yes.
And a passive act of revenge. No one gets hurt.
Yep.
But you'll have the satisfaction of knowing that the name has literally been tainted.
So go to PrestonandSteve.com, submit your ex's name on the form, and Casey will take care of the rest.
Absolutely.
That's how it works.
Does it get any easier than that?
Do that tomorrow on Valentine's Day, just for you. So PrestonandSteve.com if you would like to contribute to that. All right, we're going to break. We're going to come back in a moment. And Bizarre File stories aplenty. Don't forget, we played the brand new song from Pearl Jam, Dark Matter. We'll give it another spin a little bit later on. And with barring the weather issue, hopefully we're going to have from Ringling Brothers a group of athletes, aerobatic performers here in our studio.
I can't wait. I hope they make it.
I hope they make it too. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Being able WMMR.
Thank you, Kathy. Look out the window, guys. It looks like it's snowing upward.
Yes.
At some point.
The worst kind of snow, upward snow.
That's how windy it is. It's just swirling all over the place.
I think it's actually picking up a lot of the snow that's already fallen. But I mean, if you see when Preston, it was the most. You keep talking about it from earlier. It was the wildest thing to go from nothing to a coating.
Yeah,
in minutes.
In 30 minutes.
Yeah,
it went very, very quickly. So just be careful. Hey, I got handed this bit of information coming up at 11 o'clock. There's a big concert announcement. This has been shifted, so this is kind of last minute for us. But around 11, And either we'll be done slightly before that and hand it over to Pierre, or I don't know if we'll be on till 11, but there will be an announcement, a big concert announcement at 11 o'clock this morning. Yeah. So excited to present that information to you. Just be ready to receive it. All right, we're going to do the Bizarre File right now.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Liberty Safes New Jersey. It's time to replace your bank safe deposit box with a Liberty Premium Home Safe at Liberty Safes of New Jersey in Bordentown or Mount Laurel. Online at libertysafesnj.com. This is a follow-up story to begin with. A grand jury has indicted Diabra Redden on charges of attempted murder after he assaulted a judge during his sentencing hearing. The incident took place in a Las Vegas courtroom and gained widespread attention due to a video that became viral online.
The dude literally dives over at the judge.
So attempted murder charges.
Wow, man.
The 9-count indictment was handed down on Thursday. Redden had previously pleaded guilty to an attempted battery case, but escalated the situation by attacking Clark County District Judge Mary Kay Halthus during the sentencing. The courtroom security cameras captured Redden's violent outburst, which included lunging over the bench towards the judge. Following the attack, he was sentenced by Halthus to up to 4 years in prison for the initial battery charge. Redden's actions during the attack were severe and involved physical assault, and it's alleged that he intended to commit murder by grabbing the judge, pulling her hair, attempting to strangle her, and hitting her on the head. As of now, Redden's previous attorney has not commented on the recent indictment.
Other than that was probably the wrong legal maneuvering.
Yeah, Redden, who reportedly suffers from schizophrenia and bipolar disorder, was declared competent for trial. His criminal records include several convictions for violent offenses.
And the judge is well liked. The lawyers describe her as totally fart.
Oh, very, very fart. Yeah. A Swedish amusement park was engulfed in a terrifying inferno after a new water park attraction exploded yesterday.
When your water park explodes.
Footage showed the installation at the Oceana Waterworld in Gothenburg ablaze as flames tore through the structure, sending a huge plume of thick, toxic black smoke trailing into the sky behind snow-covered houses.
It looks like a movie effect. I mean, it looks like they set it up to detonate.
The fire prompted a mass evacuation from the area, with firefighters at a loss of how the blaze was triggered, reporting they could not bring the flames under control. A public health notice was issued, and residents living close by were told to immediately get inside and close all windows and doors in a bid to escape the toxic fumes.
We need water to put out this fire. Where are we going to get that?
Emergency services continue to battle the blaze, which has reduced the water park to, quote, nothing but a skeleton, according to one witness. Oceana Waterworld, by the way, is a huge new addition to the Leesburg Amusement Park, which is the country's largest fun fair. The installation, which cost some $91 million to build, was set to open later this year and was expected to be a big hit for Leesburg, one of the most popular tourist attractions in Gothenburg.
$91 million. It looked like where the explosion took place was this with a flume, a tube ride.
Yeah. Our former intern Antonina lives in Gothenburg.
Yes,
she's in and around that area. A plane carrying 4 Canadian skydivers came down on a beach on Sunday in southern Mexico, killing one man who was on the beach at the time.
You're going to the beach to relax. You get hit by a plane.
There was no immediate information on why the plane went down, but it appeared to have made a forced landing and was largely intact. However, it fell in a relatively populated section of the beach, landed almost on top of the victim. The 4 Canadians and 1 Mexican man aboard the small aircraft were removed from the plane and taken for treatment. The accident happened just yards away from the water and even closer to a wood-beat structure of that's frequently used for restaurants.
Save my fudgy wudgy bar.
Video of the aftermath posted on social media showed beachgoers carrying at least one person from the aircraft over the sound. That's terrible.
Did you see, not to go off a tangent here, but did you see the soccer player hit by lightning?
No.
This is the most astonishing footage I've seen. You see people get hit by lightning, but this guy is out on a field and he gets hit. The bolt comes down, hits him, and he goes down. I've never seen as clear a footage of someone getting hit by lightning. We've seen him from afar, but you got to see this footage. It'll blow your mind.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Did it kill him?
Oh, killed him.
Oh,
yeah.
my God. Man. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, Nick just pulled it up. It's like just an explosion just happens under his feet. That is, wow, that's terrifying.
Is that incredible?
Yeah, well. All right, moving on, something a little less intense than that. A crowd in San Francisco's Chinatown surrounded a Waymo robo-taxi on Saturday night, broke the windows and threw fireworks inside, setting the vehicle ablaze. Waymo said the autonomous vehicle was not...
Why are you doing this?
...was not transporting any passengers at the time of the incident, and no injuries were reported.
I wish you no harm.
It's not clear what prompted the crowd to set upon the robo-taxi. Authorities are investigating the incident. Video posted to social media showed a crowd of several dozen people surrounding the car and scrawling graffiti on the sides.
Doesn't it have that sort of smiling artificial cab driver, the Johnny Cab sitting up front?
I don't think it does. One man bashed the front passenger window and the windshield with a skateboard, shattering the glass. Subsequently, someone threw a firework inside, setting the car on fire. Flames quickly engulfed the Jaguar, totally destroying the car. In a follow-up statement, Waymo said the vehicle had recently dropped off a rider and was navigating to its next destination when the event occurred.
These robotic autonomous vehicles are getting attacked a lot. I think the New York City subway system is doing away with their robotic sentries.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny, man, because you take the movies like the 200-Year-Old Man, I think was the name of the movie, and Bicentennial Man.
Right, Robin Williams.
And AI. And like I watching those movies, I'm like, nobody would get that mad about robots and stuff like that. Yeah, apparently
they are.
They do, and they are. So, wow. All right, and then one last story, and we'll wrap with this one. A gang of 30 thieves risked up to 20 years behind bars for executing one of the rarest major heists of all time after stealing an outrageous 133 tons of chicken.
Chicken?
The chicken was stolen from a state-owned facility in Havana, Cuba, as the thieves made away with 1,660 boxes full of poultry.
Chicken.
They then tried to peddle the stolen goods on the streets in order to buy a variety of luxury items, including laptops, televisions, refrigerators, and air conditioners. Although authorities haven't specified the exact date of the chicken theft, they suspect that it occurred between the hours of midnight and 2 a.m., this timing coincided with...
they got a little greedy. They wanted some chicken to wet their beak.
Detected temperature irregularities with the cold storage facilities.
Man, that's insane.
Video surveillance footage captured trucks ferrying the stolen chicken off-site.
Chicken.
Among those implicated in the crime are the shift supervisors, IT personnel, security guards, and external individuals not directly affiliated with the company.
Does the C in CSI stand for chicken?
I don't know. It could. Yeah. Chicken scene investigations. Their enormous loot equated to an estimated 33,000 to 53,000 chickens based on the average weight of a head. I love the way Gene Simmons just says the word chickens. And that is what I have.
Agent Simmons. I'm saying you have a chicken issue.
In the bizarre file for you this morning. Are those our guests in the green room?
They are.
Oh my God, they made it.
Yay.
I'm so happy. I thought for sure
we
would get a cancellation because of the weather, but
they're prime physical specimens.
Exactly.
If anybody can make it through this weather, it is this collection of people. Yes,
acrobats, the Black Diamond Trio, who are going to be with Ringling Brothers, greatest show on earth at Wells Fargo Center starting Friday. It's going to be Friday,
amazing.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. What?
Black Diamond. Skiing, snow. Of course.
There it is.
Of course.
That's how they made it here. Yep. Snow ain't no thing.
They laugh at it.
Yep. All right. So we will take a break. We'll come back in a second. We'll get them in here. These people can do amazing things.
Yes.
Can't wait to meet them. So we'll do that when we return. Stay with us. And don't forget, big concert announcement, 11 o'clock this morning. And if you did not hear the new Pearl Jam song, we'll be playing that again a little bit later on. Stay with us.
Traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Kathy, while you were doing the traffic, a young lady was not only doing handstands, but she was doing, I don't know what you call these things.
Ballet style.
Well, she ended up on one hand, doing a handstand on one hand with her legs out in front of her. It's insane.
I'm looking at my screen, but I could see like all of your faces.
Here, look. Well, our friends from Ringling Brother are here this morning. Ringling Brothers event. is going to be in our area, the Wells Fargo Center, on the 16th through the 19th this weekend. And we have a variety of people that are in the studio. We would like to welcome to our microphones, we have Sunshine and Danny Butler.
Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Nice to meet you, Sunshine. And Danny, nice to meet you as well. Thanks for being here. And who are the three ladies that have accompanied you here?
Yes, this is Danu. We have Tiblet and Salam, but right now Danu is doing some handstands for us. Usually in the show, there's two others. They're doing a hand balancing act on top of each other.
Oh, my God.
So they're usually about 10 feet in the air, doing handstands on each other, just sheer grace and strength.
We wanted to show you a little bit more, but the ceilings are kind of low, so we don't want them to get in or anything, you know?
This is very impressive. Again, these are. First off, the circus of Ringling Brothers is just amazing, and what it's become over the years is just it's just the creme de la creme of these kind of performers and stuff you literally have never seen before. Just in proximity to this kind of physical control, and it's athleticism. It's also art. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And she's been doing it nonstop this whole time.
I'm blown away.
I'm just watching at how still her upper body is on the ground.
I was typing and I had to sit down.
Yeah. The balance and the strength is absolutely insane. Now, Danny, you are a trapeze artist, correct?
Yes, I'm a trapeze catcher.
Wow. You're a catcher?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been doing this? As you're a young man?
Yeah, I've been doing circus my whole life, but I've been catching for about 6 years.
Okay.
We assume when we see somebody doing that they were a gymnast in school or did something of that nature. Is that your story, or how did you get into this?
Yeah, so my parents founded a circus school in Minnesota.
Oh, there you go.
Circus Juventus. They started it in 1994.
Okay.
And I've been doing it since I've been about 2 years old.
And have they been do they funnel performers into Ringling Brothers? Is that kind of, because I know there are other outfits out there, but none has the
Some performers
pedigree.
have gone to Ringling. Other performers have gone to other circuses, but I've been lucky enough to come here.
Is there an elaborate audition process? Is there? How many people are there out there actively doing what you do?
Quite a bit. At our circus in Minnesota, we actually have 1,000 performers.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so a lot of performers, a lot of people choosing to go professional. We're actually the largest youth performing arts circus school in North America.
We're amazed at what we see.
Okay, Danu is doing this thing over here. I'm sorry, this is
this on the can you see this on?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
This is on our YouTube channel right now. If you want to see this unbelievable performance of strength and balance, you can watch this right now. But she's, by the way, the three ladies, they're from Africa, from Ethiopia. It's incredible. And they don't speak English, which is why we're not having them on the mic.
Well, they speak English is their second language. So, but they're a little bit more comfortable just kind of performing. And it's kind of like watching a lava lamp, isn't it? Just kind of
It's mesmerizing.
It's mesmerizing. There's a flow to it. It's beauty.
The control without shaking. There is...
That's what I meant, that no movement.
Yes.
While I was trying to crane my neck and lean over this way to see her, I had
You
my
almost
hands in
fell.
my pocket. I fell over.
You okay?
I fell over like this. I'm like, I can't even stand.
And I think that Danu as well. Danu has a record of the longest handstand in the world. I think Danu, is your handstand 2 hours or 3 hours? How long is your handstand? 2 hour handstand. 2 hours. All right.
By the way, your English was fine.
Yeah.
They want you on microphone. Come over here.
Oh my goodness! Wow, that's incredible. All right, so anyhow, back to you guys and what you do. Sunshine, you're a spokesperson for the circus, or what else do you do?
Yeah, I'm like a service animal dog. I'm here for emotional support for daddy. So I'm here having a good time with them. So yeah, we're having a good time. It's so funny because Danny is a performer and he's up there 30 feet in the air hanging upside down. And sometimes he gets nervous by radio interviews, which is so hilarious to me.
Danny, you know what blows me away by what you do and the performance that you do? The aerial acrobatics are incredible, but what I'm almost always most impressed with is when I will see one of these trapeze artists go over to a rope and grab it and stick their legs straight out and climb all the way up the rope, just using their arms. I'm like, that's a dream of mine. I can't even climb the rope, period.
When you're sitting there and you've pulled a muscle eating popcorn.
Yes.
It is something to behold. So if you are a catcher in the trapeze act, is that all you do, or do you work in all capacities? Are you also the person who swings out? I assume you have to be a bit larger and stronger than the other people who are doing this, right? I'm operating from a very pedestrian understanding of the art of trapeze, but I assume that's the case. Illuminate me.
Yeah, I do a few other things in the show, but mainly trapeze, and it's a really impressive act. Usually when you see trapeze, it's usually just in a straight line.
Right.
But in this act, it's a crisscross flying trapeze.
What?
So it doesn't go in just one direction.
So you have four points?
There's 4 points.
Wow.
It starts at all 4 points going bar to bar, and then we actually transform the act into 2 catchers and then 2 points from flying to catching.
And are you always a catcher when you're doing the trapeze stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
At the beginning of the act, I drop some bars for the flyers, but then I get into the catcher's position.
Wow. You drop some bars. What does that mean?
Like the bar that people swing off of, that I drop the bar so they can grab it and then go back to the other side.
Gotcha.
So I know the show has changed over the years, but in the current show, and the old show, my favorite was always the trapeze act. Like, that's what I loved. But it was always, for me, it was always too short. So how long are you guys out there?
Our trapeze act is, I think, about 7 to 8 minutes.
Oh, okay.
You know what I've always wanted to do, Kath? I just wanted to swing on a trapeze and then
let go
onto the net. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's all I wanted to do. I remember, like, as a kid, we used to watch Circus of the Stars. You might be too young for that, but they would have, like, celebs go and do circus stuff. I remember, I think it was Brooke Shields who did the trapeze.
She did. She'd have and you have the harness on and you have all that training. When you hit the net, right, obviously, it is a rope sort of net, is it not? It doesn't tickle, right? I mean, is it? What does that feel like?
It's pretty comfortable. Actually.
Is it?
You know, it's not. I mean, obviously, if you land some like on your neck or something, it's going to hurt. But as long as you land on your back in the right place, it's completely fine. You get a bounce and you go pretty high, and it's fun, man.
What's been one of the most difficult movements, or what's the proper word?
Tricks.
Tricks. I guess on trapeze that's ever been achieved.
Yeah. Ever been achieved is the quadruple.
The quadruple.
Miguel Vasquez was the first performer to ever catch the quadruple. I'm not exactly sure what year. And since then, there's only been about 30 performers.
A quadruple somersault.
Quadruple somersault.
Wow.
You've been doing it and watching it for a long time. And so to my untrained eye, I don't even think I can count the 4 times if they're doing a quadruple. Right? And the same goes for like ice skating. If somebody's doing a quadruple or whatever, triple lutz, it happens so fast, I can't even count the number of times they've twisted. From your eye, from somebody who's been doing it for as long as you have and certainly performing as long as you have, can you see subtle differences? Can you see advancements as they're happening?
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes like one trick is called a double-double. It's a double layout with a double full twist. And some people can actually do a triple full twist. But to a lot of people, you don't see that extra twist.
So I assume they have
but
someone.
It's so much extra work for you guys.
They have someone somersaulting along with them to count it, correct? It is an amazing thing. So, how many people in the trapeze troupe with Ringling right now?
9.
9, okay. And you have to trust, they have to trust you. So I assume they never get into fights with you and they never piss you off, correct? Because you're the main conduit.
Yeah, trust is a big thing in trapeze for sure.
Right.
Oh my gosh, yeah. You would have to completely trust the other people up there to catch them and all of that. So what are the other parts of the show? Obviously trapeze, you said 7-8 minutes. What are the other parts?
So we have the double wheels of destiny. So it's 2 huge wheels of destiny. It's kind of like a hamster in a wheel.
I love that.
Yes, they're running in circles. They go on the outside. They do jump rope. And then at the very end of the act, they do somersaults.
So the fact that all of this stuff is being researched and incorporated and you're always modifying, like Kathy, I know you're a big fan, as am I, with what they can do. And it's a global search for these kind of acts. I mean, obviously, Ethiopia for these performers here. So is there like a, and growing up in the circus world, is there like a buzz? Oh, there's something coming out of Argentina that's going to be the next big wave in the circus world. Is that how it works, or is it a lot of just you cultivating stuff on your own time while you're with the circus?
Yeah, I mean, performers come from all over the world, and I think for Ringling, they actually did a touring to audition process.
They did a couple of things. They did auditions to see what kind of acts that we were missing out on, and they also did recruitment as well. So they went out there, they went to different circuses, they went to different schools, and they...
So that's going on all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And we have performers that are here for, the 3rd contract, 4th contract as well. So, of course, reputation goes a long way. And I think that Danny's very modest because I'm out there and I come from the puppeteer world. So coming into this, I was like, all right, let's go see what's going on. And I'm watching them rehearsing their acts as we're getting ready for the stages. And sometimes you don't see them landing their tricks. And it gives you such an appreciation for how hard these things actually really are.
Oh my, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, and it happens and you hear the audience gasp, but then that's when the audience is really connected as well. They're like, wow, these guys are not this is real stuff.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I went to Ringling Brothers years ago. It's been a while. My kids were little. They're grown now, but I remember being blown away by the acrobatics that took place. And I don't know what all else is still in the show and what is not, because it changes from year to year. But they did the caged motorcycle riders, the human cannonball. That blew me away. That was really cool.
We still have Skylar Miser. She is she's
awesome.
a daughter of two cannonballers. We call it the human rocket now, but yeah, she's in it and she's invested and launching 65 miles per hour over 100
65
feet.
miles an hour. And by the way, that's dangerous.
When they go fly across the air, you're like, you may see this on television or in a video and go, wow, that's kind of, when you're there and you see that human being flying that high and that fast, you can't believe it.
There should be.
You can't believe it.
There should be. Ringling Brothers. I'm giving you $1 million idea here. Ringling Brothers should have a VR, program that lets you see, for example, from the platform that the trapeze artists are on, to see what it looks like while you're up there. Right? Yeah. Because you can't. There's no way you can perceive.
It's funny because we actually had GoPros attached to some of their foreheads to like kind of get a POV of what this actually looked like.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, I'd be kind of curious to see what Danny sees when he's up there. Like, the face of like, sure terror. Yeah. You're trying to get caught.
I mean, that alone.
Hey, a couple of questions about specifics with the human rocket. That's what you called it, right? The human rocket. Is that air pressure? Do you know what they use to shoot them out of there?
It's honestly a trade secret that it's so tight-lipped that the family does not want that.
I know what it is, Preston. They stand on top of the cannonball.
Okay.
And no.
And then they fire up gunpowder.
It's amazing.
It's either spring loaded or air pressure or something like that. But it's pretty amazing.
It's actually really Danu loaded. She just kicks them off and 65 miles per hour with the legs.
I would doubt it for crying out loud.
It's incredible. And if you're watching right now on our live stream, it's powered by Neumann University. You can discover the new you. But take a look now at Danu. She's doing these amazing acrobatic moves.
It's unbelievable.
Just effortlessly. Danny, when it comes to trapeze and catching, how do you guys time that out? Because that's got to be pretty much, I mean, not everything. Obviously, you have to have the strength and all that, but if the timing's not there, you're going to miss.
The calculations have to be almost perfect. I mean, my swing has to be at the right height. They have to be going off at the right time and breaking at the right time.
So you're using like an egg timer, something like that?
Well, do you use verbal cues with each other? Okay.
Yes.
So is that like, hup? Or do I hear you guys
break,
doing that?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Hup, break?
Yep.
Okay.
So what happens if it isn't perfect and you know it?
If they go early or they go late or something happens, I have to fix that timing.
And how? Well, that's a split-second modification.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So obviously, with all of this comes now. There's people going to fall occasionally, and it's not going to go off correctly. I mean, do those haunt you when you miss somebody? I mean, obviously there's a protection thing in place. You have the net, but is it like, damn it, like you're off your game or something happened, or is it just you just keep going and you
just keep going,
just keep going,
you get right back up and you catch them again and you make it happen because you have to make them feel that trust and make them feel like that's not going to happen again.
Okay.
Is there a limit on weight requirement on like how much you can catch and what it would be too much?
Possibly, but I mean, any flyer I've ever caught has been fine. Some people may be heavier, but they can fly light.
Like Jason Kelsey, could you do that?
Yeah. You don't walk by and say, you need to back up the cookies. I got to catch you, man.
Yeah.
And it's not saying anything mean about the way they look. It's like, I got to catch you.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are you eating?
Yeah. How about a salad now and then?
But no, it's like, so my daughter was in cheerleading, and so there were bases and flyers, and so essentially you're a base, right?
Exactly.
Okay, and the flyers are going to be smaller, more nimble.
Are all the flyers female, or are there some male flyers?
Mostly male. We have two female flyers.
Okay.
Wow.
And it's like it's so funny because like I was just eating breakfast with them the other day as well, and my plate is full: eggs, bacon, potatoes, and I'm like, "What are you eating?" They're like, "A banana." I was like, "Jeez."
Well, also you got you this is your moneymaker, the machine. Like looking at the movements over here. What is her name again?
Danu. She's also a contortionist. That's how she's able to get her body to fold like a piece of paper like that.
Astonishing. With that, and when I tell you that as she's doing this incredible lifting and one-handed bouncing, there's no shaking, there's no tremors, Kathy. That's what's amazing
I know.
And going to the gym too, because like I go out there and I just kind of work out, but these guys are doing handstands off of each other's heads. I was like, geez, of course.
What in this, and maybe you guys know, what is the holy grail of this type of performance that she's doing? What is the thing that is the final act that just wows the crowd?
So the final act is the human rocket, right? Yeah, that's her final.
Well, with her in particular, with
her,
with the balancing.
I wish you guys can see it. Well, obviously come to the show, ringling.com, obviously plug. But her with her sister and her friend back there, they all do this. They just literally Taboo back there. She actually is the base, like Danny, and then the other two just hang off her like fruits off a tree. It's like amazing.
Wow.
So yeah, and they do. Taboo actually stands in one spot, and is it Salam or Danu who does the handstand off of her head? Yeah, there you go. So hands off her head. It's wild.
The whole this is a whole family unit. You sisters? Yes. Okay. Wow.
One with two sisters and one friend.
And one friend,
two sisters and one friend. All right. Yeah. Wow.
How long is the show?
2.5 hours. It's 2 hours with an intermission in between.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Preston, I like the fact that Danu is using the square that you and Casey created.
I know.
For the game. She's basically containing herself within that square.
Yeah, we taped off a square in the floor of a game that Casey and I created, and Danu is now using that as a point.
I'm just
to do
amazed.
one-handed handstands.
That's right. That's the game you guys did, right?
Yeah, one-handed handstands.
We were also like wondering like if because it's been away, we've been away for like 6 years and we came back and we wanted to see if like how the audience was going to react to this. So I get the privilege of sitting out there with the audience often and watching the kids' faces light up. I mean, these guys don't get to see it because they're obviously performing on stage, but watching those kids' faces light up with all these acts and just the remarkable things that these people pull off is just absolutely incredible. So there's people that wonder, is this good for kids? Absolutely. I can't even wait to have it go back to Los Angeles and me take my nieces and nephews to this because it's just incredible.
Well, and it delivers on the promise. I mean, and again, you guys have, over the course of years and sensibilities, you've evolved the show. And now with other, there are other groups out there. But again, the legend, the banner, the Ringling Brothers pedigree is intact, and that's because you've rolled with the changes as REO Speedwagon.
Yeah.
Hey, what is the most acrobatic thing that each one of us here can do that you can do? Casey, you used to be able to do a back spring or back handspring.
I could do a back handspring. I won't try to do that now because my wrist is all effed up, but I would probably say that. I mean, on the ground, not on a diving board.
Yeah, Kathy?
I'll tell you what, I mean, so when she goes into a handstand, she puts her hands on the ground, right? And she can just lift her legs up in the air. When I was like in the height of yoga and doing handstands, I was like almost at the point where I could do that, where I could get my feet up without having to like bend and kind of
launch your legs up.
Yeah, launch my legs up. That was probably like the most progress, and like the thing that I was most proud of was to be able to get up into that handstand without having to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not really in that shape anymore. Can't really do
I
that.
was able at one point to raise my hand and make a taxi cab stop.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
That's cool.
Impressive.
I could do they used to do the stunt body, the flip, like a full
Forward
body flip. Yeah, and then just disperse the weight as I landed.
Right.
And I'm not going to do that now.
I used to walk on my hands. I used to
Really?
yeah, a little bit. I mean, I didn't have great balance, but I would. My son Carter can go all day walking around.
Yeah, he can walk up and down steps, can he not?
Not up, down. Up is very, very hard.
Okay.
On his hands?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I could do a somersault once.
Yeah.
Once?
Yeah,
Like just a forward.
There was a time.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the center ring, Nick McElwain will perform one somersault.
Like they do with like the preschoolers in Jamboree.
Yeah, and I stand up with my hands up.
Cartwheels, all that stuff. Though when I severely injured myself in our skip race in the hallway here, I realized perhaps my time has passed.
There was a time when I was playing baseball where it was simultaneously the most klutzy maneuver into the most graceful maneuver ever. I was playing left field. Some dude smoked the ball over my head, and I turn around and I just start running. I ran a little bit too fast for myself, and I ended up falling forward, okay? But then I turned it into a somersault, and I did it all in stride. It was insane. I fell trying to chase down a ball, somersault. I didn't catch the ball.
Ladies and gentlemen, in an accidental display of physical prowess.
I did that one time. I was on a bike that had front brakes on it.
Oh no! Oh no!
Did you go over the handles?
I hit the front brakes. I went over the handles. But I went into a somersault and I rolled it out. It was like Pee Wee Herman.
Preston Elliott on the bicycle of doom.
Yeah, I meant to do that. Now, I tried to do that.
We all had our moment.
Yeah. And we have video of it. I tried to do that when I tried to ride my bike through the wall of fire.
Yeah. Right.
The lukewarm wall.
Kathy Romano in the I'm almost good at yoga.
But I fell off the bike and I tried to tumble into it.
Yes.
And I
that was
separated
the
my
mistake,
shoulder. Yeah.
The only thing you got injured on in all that month of stunts, you will say, is probably the lamest
stunt that we did. Yeah.
Wow.
No doubt.
Sunshine, so this group, you guys travel all over the world?
We do. We're not all over the world, nationwide though, but we're traveling over 50 cities in the next 2 years. So I think this is our 19th stop right now here in Philadelphia. Very cold Philadelphia. Listen, I'm from Los Angeles, so this is like not a thing over here. So
we're not too thrilled with it
And
either.
the three are from Ethiopia. I was like, I thought for sure you guys weren't going to make it in because of the snow.
No, we had to stop for snow angels, but we're here now. So we had to.
Danny, wait, did you say you're from
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
He's like, what?
It's just a Tuesday.
This is August in Minnesota.
It's a Tuesday.
Man, I'm blown away by this. This kills me. And contortionist, the people that can
pull themselves up.
Yeah, Danu, can you do any weird, things with your contortionist? Yes. Oh my God.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, but again, physical specimens, just absolutely a level of physicality that is almost incomprehensible.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, I go to the gym, and 1 or 2 days a week before I do my workout, I go to try and do pull-ups to see if I can do more pull-ups than I did the last time. I can do a max of 5 pull-ups, and that's it for me for the rest of the week. That's like a warm-up for you guys. You know what I mean?
That's not even.
That's not even a warm-up.
She does it with her tongue.
Yeah.
With this ability, one might think immediately, as Steve was saying at the top, gymnastics. Is this? What are the options available for people who have these types of abilities? Obviously the circus is one thing, but that's only so many people can get on board a circus group.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because on our downtime, on their downtime, they go train at circuses. Where do you guys train?
Gymnastic schools, circus schools.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're just obviously constantly building. Like whenever they're not doing something, they're constantly bodybuilding as well. Like our men that have to hold up a whole other woman on their shoulders constantly. Right. Like these things, their muscles are as big as my head, and that's pretty big. So
would that port into real estate? Could that be?
I feel yes, absolutely. So yeah,
The downtime, is it in each city, or do you get chunks of time off?
It's each city. So
each week we usually travel on Monday, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we have off, and then Thursday, we're practicing. Friday, getting ready for the show, practicing, and then Friday through Sunday we're performing.
Okay. Wow.
It does kind of, and it does the best thing. It makes you a kid again to get excited at this stuff. And I'm a sucker like you are, Kathy, for this stuff. And what we're seeing here in the studio, and it's on our YouTube channel as well, is just amazing.
And we call it the ultimate playground as well. Like that's exactly what the stage is. You just see seesaws, but people are, they're actually called teeter boards, but people are going back and forth, and it's a tightrope again. Very familiar traditional circus acts. But with the tightrope itself, because we wanted to up our game a little bit, we made it a triangular high wire act. So there's 3 performers at one time. They're jumping over each other. It's incredible to watch. And of course, I get into the company. I don't know these people. And I've got to know them as friends. And I'm like, oh my gosh, please don't hurt yourself. We have to take cards later. So,
So Danny, being around all this stuff, are there any of the other things like tightrope where you're like, I'd like to take a crack at that? Or have you ever tried stuff like that?
Yeah, of course. So actually at our circus school in Minnesota, we had tons of different acts. So I used to actually do Wheel of Destiny. I did a little bit of high wire. I did teeterboard, wall tramp, pas de deux.
What is wall tramp?
Wall tramp is so there's a trampoline and there's a wall, and sometimes you'll see the people running up the wall.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We dig that. Yeah.
What's trottada?
What trottada?
What was the last thing you just said?
Pas de deux.
Pas de deux.
It's kind of like silks, but me with a girl, and we're swinging in the air. And
okay. Those are cool.
Yeah.
Preston, you're thinking of mananana.
Mananana.
Which is different.
Yeah, do. What about slack wire? Have you ever done that?
I've never done slack wire. I've always wanted to.
That looks pretty cool because you can jump on those things and do all kinds of crazy stuff.
So what is technically in the whole performance? What is the most dangerous thing that we will see when we attend this circus? this weekend?
It depends who you are. Obviously, like coming from trapeze, I like to say trapeze is it can be very dangerous. But I mean, we also take a lot of safety precautions. But the BMX, that's very intense. That's a very intense act.
Danny, outside of the circus, anything like scare you, intimidate you? Like you'll never go rock climbing, or there's something that out there that you see other people with that are incredibly physically skilled, but like you're like, nah, that's not for me.
Skydiving. I've always wanted to, but
from what you're doing, that blows my mind. You're up on a little platform. You're physically flying without anything. Yeah. That's crazy.
Probably land it.
Wow. I thought you were going to say like a public bathroom. That would be. I'll never do that.
I want to ask Danu a question.
Danu, you got a question coming up. There we go.
Your English is just fine.
Yeah, come over here. I do have a question. Will you ever do this type of thing out in public just to freak people out? You know what I mean? Just in the middle of
on the street.
Yeah, you will, right?
And people must applaud. I mean, they must be. They go crazy. Yes, it was. Well, they should.
Yeah. I mean, because I would do that all the time.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
I'd be at Wawa, whatever, getting my gas, something like that.
Guys I follow on Instagram that do that. Tanner Witt. There's another guy that they'll just be standing in the freezer section of the grocery store and they'll just whip out a back tuck and.
Yes. Are you on Instagram or you do have social media? Yeah. Okay. Well, how do we find you on Instagram?
Dana Witt.
Dana Witt. Yeah. How do you spell that?
DANAWIT.
WIT?
Yes.
Okay.
You're perfectly fine for the radio. Being embarrassed. You're better than we are.
She's adorable, by the way.
It's unbelievable.
How old are you?
18.
You're 18. Okay. All right. I thought maybe a teenager. Yeah. That's, wow. Incredible. Just
I didn't know you spoke English. Look at I can get you some more interviews. Wow.
You're holding out. You're holding out on sunshine here.
Truth comes out.
Wow. All right, so Ringley Brothers, the greatest show on earth, is going to be at Wells Fargo Center, and Friday there's a 7:30 show. There's 3 shows on Saturday. Okay,
that's got to be a lot.
Yeah, 11, 3, and 7. That's a full day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sunday, noon, and 4, and then Monday at noon as well. By the way, Danny, do you have backups? Because if one of you can't do it, then that has
the
to
person's just going to fly across.
That has to alter the show.
We don't have a backup, but if something were to go wrong, we would just do the trapeze one way. Okay, we've had to do that once.
I feel like we should ask Danu if she does that as well. I just found out she speaks English. She can probably do backup catcher now. So
I don't doubt she's strong enough to take you up.
Wow, well, we're incredibly impressed. This is just amazing abilities that you guys have, and super entertaining. Because I remember going,
oh my God,
with the kids and just having a blast and being amazed by the types of things. The circus is still alive and well.
Yes,
and Wells Fargo Center is a place to see it. So thank you guys for braving the elements and coming by.
Thank you for having us. Yes,
we appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear it for Sunshine and Danny. And Danu, who's unbelievable, and her sister and friend, who is Tiblet and Salem. Is that how you say her name?
Salam, yeah.
Salam?
Correct, yeah.
All right, thank you guys. We appreciate that. All right, we will take a quick break. We'll come back in just a moment. We're going to play New Pearl Jam when we get back. Yep. All right, stay with us, friends. We'll return in just a moment.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
Thank you, Kath. We're waiting arrival of Ryan Arey of Screen Crush. We'll see if we get him on here in a little bit. But you know what we need to do in the meantime is we need to announce a winner. Nick had the Polar Plunge over the weekend, Citizens Bank Park.
It was so much fun.
Yeah?
It was a great time. And Steve, we were kind of joking about it on Thursday and Friday, saying it was going to be warm this weekend, and it was.
Yeah.
But the water was damn cold. And I'm not kidding or exaggerating. All of the mascots, including Swoop and the Philly Fanatic, they put ice into the water right before everybody started plunging in to make sure that it was an actual polar plunge.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow. All right, and this and the funds were raised for Special Olympics.
Yeah, and Special Olympics is such a great organization, and every dollar that they raise goes to fund the athletes and make sure that they never have to pay for anything. So they don't have to pay for equipment or coaching or field time or anything along those lines.
All right, for those who joined Nick, they got in the running for a very cool prize from our friend at Steven Singer Jewelers. And it's for those who are ready to take the plunge, meaning the wedding plunge. And we have a winner, randomly chosen. And I'll tell you what they won in just a second. Congratulations go to Brooke Luciano. Hey! Brooke has won a Delphine Ready for Love diamond engagement ring from Steven Singer Jewelers.
Ready for love?
Whoa, dude.
Yeah.
It's valued at over $1,400.
That's amazing.
How cool is that?
Yes.
Awesome.
You did a good thing, and now you have taken a big chunk out of what you were going to put towards your full marriage, and now you get this for free, courtesy of Steven Singer Jewelers.
That's great. Love it.
It's impressive.
So, Team WMMR, it was our first year doing it, and thanks to everybody that came out. We raised over $6,000, which is really awesome for our first year, but Special Olympics overall, Special Olympics Pennsylvania, they raised over $432,000.
Excellent.
So John Blitzer and Chasen, everybody down in the organization, thank you guys for involving us in the first place, and I want to do it again next year. Michael Barkan was there on Friday. Pat Gallen from CBS3 also participated.
Are they going to be doing? They do it now mainly in the sort of parking lot setup?
Yeah. So on Friday, Steve, they actually had it in the ballpark. They were able to do it. On the in between the foul line and the stands, but then for the big plunge, which was on Saturday, and that's when the 1,700 plungers showed up. We did it outside in Citizens Bank Parkway, like in between Xfinity Live and the ballpark.
Kathy, you and I are in the Filthy River Club.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how we got to do it.
Wow. That's cool. So, yeah, again, next year. I love it. Thank you to Steven Singer for stepping up and, goosing things a little bit to get some more participation.
He's the man.
We definitely appreciate that. All right, so we haven't heard from Ryan yet, right?
I have not, no.
Okay, so you guys want to talk about some other things?
Yeah, I think we should talk about other things.
Okay.
Are you the other thing talker?
No, I thought about being the stream of consciousness nerd because we did Totally Presbo last week,
The stream of consciousness nerd.
but I'm also
But he's also
weighing the possibility of a single topic
of a
because
single topic.
Casey mentioned something. I'll see if this has legs or not. If not, we'll move on to something else because we were planning on talking to Ryan, so we're just kind of,
So you're now the viability assessor.
I'm the winging it guy. No, Casey mentioned in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
The guy that caught the winning touchdown pass stated that he didn't remember it.
Right.
Like right after the game, he's like, it's a blank.
So overwhelmed.
Yeah. That it led me to the thought of the greatest moment of my life, and I don't even remember it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Or not necessarily the greatest moment, a big moment in your life, and you just don't remember what happened. I don't know if there are 215-263-WMMR. Let's see if there are any takers. There's another reason, another example I can think of that was, you guys remember the movie The Rookie?
Yes.
With Dennis Quaid. He's a pitcher. He's a coach at a high school baseball team, and
he's older.
He gets talked into going and auditioning or trying out for major leagues. They had open tryouts. Yeah. He went, and all of a sudden he makes it. And eventually, after being in the minors for a little bit, they bring him up to the big show for a game. And so in the post credits of the movie, there was a little short documentary with the actual guy who the story was based on. And they show video footage of him on the mound getting ready to be in his first major league debut. And he throws 3 strikes. It's ended up being, a perfect appearance. But it shows him on the mound talking to the manager. And he had said in this little documentary, he's like, I don't remember a single thing that we talked about.
Wow.
And he's like, you can see him laughing and they're having a good time. And
Does he remember the moment?
He remembers throwing the pitches, but
Right.
he's like, I've watched the video. He's like, I have no idea what they were asking me. I was so overwhelmed.
Right.
I was so, concerned. All these overwhelming emotions that he does not remember at all. Even though he's fully engaged in the conversation, he has no memory of it whatsoever.
That's probably why when they asked him what pitcher you're going to throw, he said liverwurst.
Liverwurst.
Like, what?
Yeah, so it happens, and I would imagine when you get caught up in these big, identifying moments,
It's overwhelming.
that you may lose some of what's there.
Have you had something that would be similar to this?
Probably, but I
you
can't remember.
I spent an entire year as people's sexiest man alive.
What? And you
I
don't
had no
remember?
idea.
You didn't remember that?
I had no until someone showed me the magazine, and I said, "Gosh, that looks a lot like Mel Gibson."
I would imagine, Press, as a musician, when you get it, I've heard the term "in the pocket" so many times. I'm probably going to use it out of context, but like maybe you've been in a groove that it just sort of takes over, and
That happens, but it's not that you don't remember it.
It's well, in a way. There was times when and stand-up comedians will talk about this, where you're like doing your act, and I've had it happen where you you get distracted and you're doing it and you're getting. Everything's working.
You can get lost in it.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's the way I would describe
eyes.
it. Like in in music, you can actually there's some kind of channeling that happens. Your inner self comes out and your conscious self just kind of lets that handle it.
Right.
Yeah. Kind of like I've told you about the movie Soul.
Yeah.
It kind of it I think it illustrates that very well.
And what you want is to be able to tap into that so that you become sort of the conduit.
All right, we have one caller I'm going to go to. All
right.
And I wonder if you could guess.
Oh, this is as obvious as it gets.
This is Mr. Peanut, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey. What's up, Mike?
I'm a Barbie girl.
For those who may not remember, Mike was Mr. Peanut at Cardboard Classic a few years ago, the giant peanut mobile. And I'm going to guess that may have been your moment that you don't remember.
I think I went to that, but I can't quite remember.
When did you lose from the point where you were up? And if people don't remember, you can watch the video. It's available. You were plowed by your own Mr. Peanut mobile, and you were caught under the front of it. You yourself were dressed as Mr. Peanut. Preston did a very elaborate medical check on you at the bottom. And but when was the last moment of sentience in that whole thing?
I remember going down at the very top. I remember everybody piling in, and just like the first 3 seconds of going down, and then I guess I was knocked out from the hit. It was either concussion or from the pain knockout.
Oh man!
Yeah. And what's the first thing you recall after the collision?
I remember a nurse. I was in that trauma unit, whatever it was there. I remember a nurse saying, "I don't think he knows what's wrong with him."
Wow,
we're going to need to shell you.
You don't remember me talking to you?
No way, not.
Oh wow! Because you gave response to Preston that satisfied your.
Oh yes, my EMT training. I said, "How many fingers am I holding up?" And he goes 4, and I go, "He's okay.
He's close enough."
And by the way, he was smiling with blood in his teeth while he was looking at me.
Shock.
Well, his jaw was broken too.
Jesus.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Wow.
So that's
But
the
that was
flip
but
side.
something happened. Like he got knocked the hell down.
Yeah.
There is that footage. It's like one of those like boardwalk rides where they shoot you up.
I love those.
And my favorite one is it just came out, on Instagram. I don't even know, maybe like 3, 4, 5 months ago, where these two girls get launched into the stratosphere. The girl just passes out.
Yeah.
It's like instantly, and then she wakes up and she's like, and then
Again.
passes
She
out
keeps
again.
passing out.
Yeah.
Hey, Peanut, I want to ask you about upcoming Cardboard Classic. Last year, you killed it with your Grinch sled. It was amazing.
So massive.
Do you want to tip your hand this year, or are we going to have to wait and see what you've got in mind?
Well, the Barbie RV van is going to be.
Oh, so that's
what a great idea.
Sang the Barbie song.
That's phenomenal.
Well, if anybody can pull it off, you guys can.
Yeah.
It's 24 feet long and about 8 foot high.
Okay.
And we're going to try to squeeze it out of the garage again.
24 feet long.
You know what I remember about the Peanut Mobile was how much that thing weighed.
Mm-hmm. It's topping it this year. I have no idea how we're going to lift this.
Oh my God.
So again, you're right, Preston, and the craftsmanship. But once you put that gauge, that amount of high gauge cardboard together, and then you do all the other stuff to it. To be honest, it's a wonder you survived that collision, because it was. I mean, you had this huge thing barreling down. We're glad you did, of course, because now we get the Barbie.
Yep.
Entry.
Looking at the video, if I was another quarter of a turn, it could have been my spine down in my ass somehow.
Right,
dude. We're so glad you made it.
Yeah. Well, you passed the 4 fingers test, and you're okay.
Any neurosurgeon will say you're good to go after that.
Yeah. All right, Mike. We'll see you there, buddy.
All right, rage on.
Rage on, man. Oh my God.
4 finger. He's close enough.
Yeah. 4. Hey,
extreme.
Right. I was just like, oh God, please let him be okay. But I was in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Of that thing.
Oh,
not that you could drive it.
It was my fault.
It was your fault?
It was my
was
fault.
It hit and run?
I remember when he got up on the one, he was going to one ski down.
Yeah.
No.
And we said, and I remember screaming, no.
Yeah. Well, and not only was I on the driver's seat, but I had the microphone too. So on the way down, I'm going, move. I'm like yelling into the microphone.
My God. No, that.
And the rest is history.
Oh, and that's coming up.
Memories.
It's coming up in what?
It's coming up in 2 weeks from Friday.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's exciting.
All right, hang on. Let me go to John. He has something he doesn't remember. Hi, John. You're on the air, buddy.
Hey, what's going on? How are you?
Good, man. How you?
Not too bad.
All right, what's the
I
word?
was going to say, I was actually at that Cardboard Classic, and I thought I was going to see a dead body.
A dead peanut.
Right. Oh, my God.
But no, so my girlfriend at the time surprised me with skydiving tickets, and I'd never been on a plane before.
Never been on an airplane, much less jumped out of one.
Yeah, so the first time on an airplane, didn't land with it. That was a cool time going up. I was like, all right, this isn't bad, we're sitting on the seat. I'm watching people just like rip out the back door and like slide into the ends, and then they're like, all right, your turn. I was like, okay. And then next thing you know, we're doing like 120 miles an hour, falling to the ground.
Was it a tandem jump or were you by yourself?
It was tandem.
Okay.
And I'm like 6'3", 250.
Wow.
And I'm jumping with a guy. He's like, yeah, I jumped with like a 90-pound chick right before you. I was like, oh, that's settling.
Yeah.
Definitely a great experience. I'd suggest it.
You've been told it's a great experience.
You don't remember? Did you pass out?
No, I mean, I just kind of blacked out.
Okay, all right,
okay.
yeah. So that's similar to what happened the other night with the guy catching the pass and not remembering it. But I mean, yes, it's sensory overload. I did it twice. I did it the second time to see if it would be any less terrifying than the first time I did it. No, it wasn't. But I remember it, and I could see how you might blank that out, seeing that it was your first time ever in an airplane and you jumped out of it.
I just remember how like cold it was up there. And
yes.
I was like, all right, I think we're getting to the height that we're getting ready to go, so I kind of might as well hype myself up. And
yep.
I might have overdid it.
And then the rest is a blur.
Yeah.
Wow.
Forget it, man. I saw footage of recently one of the, I think it's the Red Bull team.
Yeah.
They jump at one guy jumped out without the chute, a la Point Break.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And hooked up with another guy, going down, and the people are surrounding him, and they get him set up. He gets the chute on. I mean, it's just a crazy.
Those
could
guys
you imagine?
Are insane.
Yeah.
I saw one same Red Bull team dude was wakeboarding in a pool. Okay, so he's getting pulled.
Oh.
And you don't realize, and then he ramps out of the pool, and you're like, this pool's on top of a skyscraper in, I think, Dubai.
And then he does a base jump, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's nuts.
These guys are insane.
No.
They get these ideas together. They make it happen. And but they do it. They try not to do it, like we would. Hey, let's go do that.
Yeah.
They actually research it.
There's a perception of research. Yeah. Not something we try to refrain from research.
Yes.
And we just go for broke.
All right. Our guest is ready.
Yay!
How about that? We love talking to him. He knows so much about movies and the inside track on Easter eggs and the behind the scenes stuff and all the stories about why these movies become these movies, why these scenes are that way. And there's a live show that he's doing. It's the first ever Screen Crush live show.
It's very cool.
Coming up on the 22nd, and it will be at the Roulette Intermedium in Brooklyn. And tickets are available now. We'll talk to him about all that. Am I playing some music here?
Yeah, man.
All right, hang on. Oh, yeah, that sounds like all right.
Marvel fun.
All right, please welcome our friend from Screen Crush, Ryan Arey, to the show. Hey, Ryan.
Thanks for having me on, guys. Great to be back.
Nice to see you once again. So, real quick, this is first ever live show. Is this just you, or other people going to be a part of this show?
No, we got the whole team coming up. Pretty excited about it.
Is Doug going to make it?
I get to share the spotlight. Doug probably won't be able to make it. He doesn't handle crowds well. We talked about it, but we're going to have some Doug short films. Doug's the co-host of the show. He's my dog.
Yeah.
Some Doug short films we're going to show.
Let me ask you, if he were on stage, would he be the most likely candidate to crap on stage, or is someone else you have in mind?
Sometimes I'm pretty nervous. You never know what's going to happen up there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I love this, especially with this kind of thing and the collective, the people involved with Screen Crush. and giving people who and a lot of people do follow the site and turn to you guys all the time for the bonus information Preston was describing. But there's something cool about getting to see the people that participate in this podcast up on stage, and this is the absolute first ever.
Yeah. To my knowledge, I mean, that I've ever done, yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Right. What are you guys planning on? Q&A, presentation, a little bit of both?
Yeah, so boy, we should really work that out.
Sounds like us. You guys operate just like us.
It's not my first time on a microphone. I figure I'll be able to wing it. No, it's going to be a mix, and it's tough because these kind of shows normally it's a podcast who does them, and we do have a podcast, but we do like video essays and stuff like that. So the question is, how do you translate that for the audience? So we're going to do a mix. Yeah. We're going to do a thing where me and Colton Ogburn, great writer, host on the channel, he's actually flying up from Texas to be on the show. We're going to do kind of like a live video essay separately, 2 separate ones. I'm going to talk about George Lucas, one of my favorite topics, basically things that we probably couldn't make a video on because it would take too much time and wouldn't justify the expense of editing it, but we're going to do like a TED Talk. And then we're going to show some short films and some like bloopers. And then most of the show is going to be dedicated to a Q&A with the whole team because, the team are like video editors. They never get to be on the spotlight and the camera, and they have a lot of say in the creative voice of the channel. So I'm really looking forward to just everybody getting to know them as well as I do because they're a really entertaining bunch.
Ryan, I just love your videos. I love the channel, and the content you guys put out is just fantastic. And I turn to you guys every time for everything Star Wars related or everything Marvel related because I'm a nerd like that, and I love diving deep on it. But I have to point out the video you guys did for Breaking Bad, which is Casey's favorite show of all time and is one of the greatest shows of all time, is unbelievably phenomenal. It's such a great dive into just the beginning of that show, and you touch on where it goes for 5 seasons. And I know you guys have been doing True Detective this year as well with Jodie Foster. So what made you decide to do a little bit more stuff outside of the comic book and Star Wars genre?
Well, first of all, thanks for the compliment on that Breaking Bad video. That is one of my favorite videos we've ever done. We said, hey, what if Breaking Bad came out today and we did an Easter egg video on it? And it's one of these, like, we'd love to keep doing them, but the views are so low at first. Every time we do a Breaking Bad video, it's the same thing. It's always like, oh, it only got 10,000 views, but then in a year, it's got 1 million. So we expect that to like ramp up, and hopefully we get to do maybe not every episode of the show, but like the remainder of season 1, then some key episodes, Ozymandias, things like that. So thanks for that. That means a lot. A big part of it is right now, Marvel got themselves in trouble. They did what everybody always does. They got too popular. They overextended themselves, and they very rightly have pulled back. And they're saying, hey, let's not, necessarily. Let's do quality over quantity. And the writer and actor strikes last year, which very happy for them, and the settlement they got, that also delayed a lot of projects. So we kind of have this strange dearth of Marvel Star Wars to cover. But I don't just watch Marvel and Star Wars. We watch other things. So it was great to have it. It's great to have a chance to talk about other stuff. And Colton's been writing those the True Detective breakdowns. He's doing a phenomenal job. He's going real deep in the research on that.
So why is this? I watched the first season of True Detective and loved it. And there's such a glut, as you were referencing with Marvel, of shows and good shows to watch. And so I veered away. But I'm hearing a lot of disparity in the opinion about this season of it with Jodie Foster. What is your take on why it's so polarizing?
I stay off online discourse normally because it can be pretty poisonous. So I haven't seen a lot of the negative discourse. For me, I just kind of tend to stay in my bubble because I also don't want to watch other channels and then you have to credit what they say. It influences how you talk about things. If I had to guess, I would say it is a season that is focused a lot on protests against large corporations and conglomerates. Right. It's a season about civil rights. It's a season where women take center stage. Some people in the realm of fandom take a lot of just umbrage to that for some reason. That bothers them. I think and also the show is, and that aside, the show is teasing like actual mysticism. Season 1 had this thing where maybe there was some mysticism. Maybe it was just Russ Cole's hallucinations. Right. I don't think the show's actually going to have like goblins and spirits and stuff like that. I think there's a scientific explanation for everything, and it's just more like a cosmic horror story.
So with the wealth of shows out there, how do you, and you guys cover a lot, but there's a vast amount of material out there. For example, I'm a huge fan of the show From. But again, there's not many people I know that are watching it, and yet
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, there you go. And if you haven't heard of it, so it's from the Lost folks, and Stephen King has raved about it, and it has that very Castle Rock sort of feeling to it. So. Do you just turn yourself over to your own instincts, what you like, that's it? Or can you be cajoled by your fans to explore something and do an Easter egg on it and all that other stuff?
You kind of it's got to be a mix, because there's a lot of shows that I watch. Like I'm loving the TED show on Peacock right now.
It's great.
Genuinely hilarious. So good. Would never make a video about it unless it was a video, because when you watch something, you have to go, well, are a lot of people watching this? And are all those people watching it, do they have a question that needs answered after? Ted Lasso is a great example, right? I enjoyed the first season of Ted Lasso more than the last two, but I could have totally been making videos about Ted Lasso season 3. We probably could have gotten screeners, but that's not a show where typically you watch it and you want to talk about it afterwards. Maybe the finale though. Sometimes we'll do an ending explained. Severance, right? Severance. By the way, Apple, they're not paying me to say this. Apple has the best stuff. Oh my gosh, like For All Mankind, Speed, Foundation. They have all these shows that are criminally underwatched and under talked about on YouTube, and I'd love to talk about them, but they wouldn't necessarily get the amount of views that we need to sustain the people we have working for us.
Okay.
But we'll do it like Severance. We did an ending explained video. We might do, the show's kind of picked up in popularity. We might end up covering the whole season. I hope we do.
I love the fact that you guys jump on trailers as well. And obviously, the Super Bowl had a wealth of that, because you had Twister, you had Deadpool, you had Wicked, and you guys dove right into those. How quickly did you already get videos made? I know I saw the one for, I haven't watched it yet, but I saw that you have the 71 Easter eggs for Deadpool and Wolverine. 71 Easter eggs from a trailer.
Well, Easter eggs, references, and little things you miss. See, there's a little. I point that out in the title. You can't fit that on a thumbnail. So I'm not trying to say I circled 71 things on it.
So marketing. With that, when you have big ones like that popping up on the night of Super Bowl, is somebody grabbing that immediately and spending their time cutting that up and analyzing that rather than, say, watching the game or something along those lines?
Yeah, I missed the first half of the game.
Okay, I thought
we were really lucky. I don't know how much you guys want to hear about the sausage getting made, but basically with that one, we decided it's a pretty major trailer. It's Marvel's only movie this year, so let's do an extra video. We did a reaction video, which we don't normally do, which was really fun, because you just get a chance to like nerd out and like get really excited watching something. Yeah. So we did that, and we already had part of that edited, because we have there's a part of the video where you like want to catch people up, like here's who Deadpool is, and here's why this video is important, and things like that. So we have segments of it already done, which will take like a few minutes off the editing. And then for the trailer, while the first video is uploading, I was on the phone with the editors. We had 2 people working that night. Then I chipped in at the end too. And we were basically breaking down the trailer. Normally we write a script. We wrote a bullet point list instead. And like I said, we're getting how sausage is made. And then that was during the first half of the game. They start editing. I thought they'd be on all night, but I was like, actually, they released this trailer early. Let's get this done now. So I think that one went up around midnight. And then we had a video up the next day too, which was exploring it further. And I'm about to write the next video that talks about speculating on what Deadpool's mission is. We're going to do a talk back on that today.
That's impressive.
Ryan, that's the only true Marvel movie this year, but it is sort of Marvel adjacent is Madam Web. And okay. So, wow. Your thoughts on Madam Web?
I'm just so excited to talk about this movie. I saw it last night.
Did you? All right.
Yeah, I did. I saw a screening. And you know what? I have to just check and make sure I can talk about it.
Okay.
So this is Sony. When Nick is talking about Marvel adjacent.
It's sort of in the Spider-Man universe, but kind of not. And like there are associated characters, which is all messy to begin with.
So they're the ones that they're doing like the Craven and what is
Venom,
the other?
And then,
right. So they're doing the secondary Spider-Verse characters. So so I'm curious. Okay, can you at least give us a visceral reaction, if not we don't want a spoiler. What did you think of it?
I'm not going to spoil it, and the embargo lifted 30 minutes ago, I can tell you what I think. First of all, these Sony Spider-Man movies are perfect. A friend of mine, Captain Midnight, said they're perfect for anyone who ever watched a Spider-Man movie and thought, oh man, this movie would be great if Spider-Man wasn't in it. If only I could just watch the adventures of Dr. Octopus instead of this spider guy getting in the way of all this fun. So they're putting all these movies out because Sony like wants their own MCU, and they've realized, well, we have the rights to all these characters who really only work in correlation with Spider-Man. So instead of getting to see Kraven the Hunter fight Spider-Man, he's going to be a gangster.
Yeah.
Madam Web, right? I saw this in a screening room last night, small screening room. There were so many times during that movie, which is terrible, where I thought, are they doing this on purpose? Where it's so, at times it is so bad, it's good, where you want to be in an altered state when you watch it. But like the star of the movie, Dakota Johnson, she's been great in other things. It's just so obvious that she can't be bothered to act.
Oh my God.
The lines are so flat. It was like watching Citizen Kane clap when his wife is singing. Like it was so forced. And there were a couple smash cuts in it that were so hilarious. Like the screening room was, but they weren't supposed to be hilarious.
Oh no!
And I'm watching. I swear to God, there's parts of the movie where just technically ADR is called additional dialogue recording. It's when an actor has to come in later and re-record their dialogue. And normally you can't tell. You can tell in this movie. The lips don't sync up to the words. I was looking back like, this is Sony screening room. Shouldn't the sound match the track? Like,
right.
And I'm not the guy who notices. Well, I usually notice audio going out of sync because I was a video editor for years. But like, I don't like harp on that kind of thing. But oh my gosh. And and by the way, I'm going to shout out Adam Scott. He's great in everything. He can make a bad movie he can work in a bad movie really well.
Make it better. Yeah.
It is. What are they trying to do?
What about Sydney Sweeney?
She's not in it that much. I mean, I think she's cool. She's a real up and comer. She's the new Anna Taylor-Joy. She doesn't get a lot to do. She just kind of like gets pigeonholed in this one like nerdy girl part.
Right.
But even then, like between the three girls, I mean, she stands out because she's a little more famous than the other two. And that's the thing is the movie, the cast is great. It's a loaded cast. I don't know anything else the director has done. I haven't had a chance to look them up yet for the review I'm going to write. But I'm watching this and I'm thinking, who is this for? You're putting this out on Valentine's Day. This is not like, hey, honey, we could go out for a nice candlelit dinner, see a show, or
Madam Web.
We could watch Madam Web. It's so strange, guys. It's the weirdest experience I've ever had screening because it's just so bad.
Do you think, and I was reading about this, and this has been speculated from some people, because of, you talked about the Marvel, a bit of a downside, which they're attempting to correct by putting a mitigation on the output. So in this case, do you think as all this has been going on, they're not living in a bubble while they're shooting this stuff? You talk about Dakota Fanning. Does something that used to be, my God, I'm in a Marvel, or I'm in that universe now they have these projects and they're on set and other things are falling by the wayside and they're hearing about all of this backlash. Does it become less of a wonderful glowing object to play with and more arduous for those actors and actresses that are committed to these projects?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to ask them. You could say that. It could be that the franchise has lost its sheen. I mean, look, if the MCU has lost its sheen, imagine what like the bargain bin MCU that Sony's putting together is going to be like. Like those movies too. I don't think that the casual fan too confuses them. I think that they understand like, okay, this isn't the Tony Stark movies, but maybe it is. Maybe people went to Morbius and thought, oh God, these movies are getting terrible.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I do think that it won't be the last time Sydney Sweeney gets a shot at a big franchise.
Right.
They might even make a Spider-Woman movie with her and the other two because they tease that at the end. It's just, oh gosh, guys, it's so bad. I keep thinking about it and I'm just like, I can't wait to write about this. I'm trying to decipher my handwritten notes. Like it's so confusing. Again, I kept thinking, are they doing this on purpose?
Well, and the fact that you're at a Sony screening room, right? So you got to figure they're gonna make sure. Oh well.
Ryan, so I'm really curious, everything that's happened with the Jonathan Majors over the last year, and there were some more charges that were levied over the weekend. That Kang universe is all but disappeared at this point, right? So where are we going with Avengers movies?
Well, that's a good question. And I just want to say first, I think if I were going to say Marvel made one big mistake after Endgame, it's that they said they weren't going to wrap up their phases with Avengers movies. Like, I think they still should have had these movies that gather people together, so it felt like it was all connected.
Yes.
Secret Invasion is a huge story. It should have been an Avengers movie. We've done some actually on the channel lately. I've been like, hey, we've complained enough. We should probably transition to saying nice things. Regarding Jonathan Majors, were legal charges pressed against him over the weekend?
It was
accusations. Okay, just want to make sure I'm speaking about the correct thing. Well, he apparently, rumor has it, trusted source, blah, blah, blah. Rumor has it that he had a provision in his contract that said only he could play Kang because this is a character who has different variants and things like that, which makes sense. An actor wouldn't want to play opposite somebody else playing the same character. So the problem there, I would guarantee his contract had a good faith clause where if he was arrested or convicted, probably convicted, that Marvel could fire him and cast somebody else. So I think Marvel was waiting on that. But in the meantime, they don't know. Like, maybe he would have gotten off innocent, but he still would have been like tainted. So they had to write a way out of using that character. And that's what the end of Loki, I'm not going to get too far into spoilers, but Loki season 2 gave them an out. It gave them a way to say, hey, maybe we'll use Kang, maybe we won't. And there's all these rumors that when Quantumania didn't do so well in its second weekend, which, by the way, I really like Quantumania. We did a whole video on that too. I don't understand the hate for that movie. But Marvel was blaming him, and they were already trying to transition away. What I think they're doing now, and we talk about this on the Screen Crush YouTube channel a lot, is Avengers 5 used to be called Avengers the Kang Dynasty. Now they've got a new writer, new director. Apparently it's not going to center on Kang. I think it's going to be Avengers versus X-Men. I think they're going to set up this thing where those Patrick Stewart X-Men characters are going to have to face off against the Avengers to save their universes, and then they all team up in the next Avengers movie. Seems really complicated compared to 6 rainbow-colored magic rocks.
Well, there is a precedent for it, which would make sense. So you lose Kang, but do you pick up on the other incredibly menacing character, MODOK?
Oh, yeah. I don't think MODOK's dead, for sure. He's definitely still there.
Quantumania is one that I will respectfully say I didn't share your enthusiasm for it. And again, and the thing, Ryan, is simply is less that they've been bad, it's that they've been And so you see an effort and you're always pulling for them. And I think even for a while we were like, okay, we're going to get past the everyone's very encouraged. I always harken back to, and you'll, I'm sure, agree with this, Preston would describe each rollout of each new movie as your favorite band coming to town when you were in high school. And it was just excitement beyond excitement. And it was their ball to drop, and they did. But we'll see. Your hopes for the future. How are you feeling about this new modus operandi concerning Marvel?
Well, again, I'm only going off like you'll read rumors, you'll see this, you'll see that, but it really seems like the pandemic made Disney afraid, and they put a lot of pressure on Marvel and Lucasfilm, by the way, to announce things early. There's a great book out right now called The Reign of Marvel Studios where they use trusted sources to describe this. Great book. You should check it out. Anyways, in that book, they talk about how Bob Chapek, former CEO of Disney, really put the screws on Lucasfilm and Marvel to like announce things too early and to let's get things out, let's get things done. And you definitely get the feeling when you watch Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, and a couple of Echo. And by the way, Echo is that show could have been great. You get the feeling they were pressured, that they were rushed, and let's get this out, content. And I think whenever your stories become content, that's when you have a problem. Whenever like the money people start looking at balance sheets and they see product instead of characters, or they see characters as product, that's when you start to hit issues. And I think that Feige and company have been given the reins back. They can, take their time instead of putting out 4 shows a year. Maybe they'll do 2. And as long as those shows are good, it's still good for my business. Although I'd love something to cover right now.
No, I understand. One quick question. How badly were they hurt, talking about that dynamic being set up by the feeling a lot of theater goers had, by the notion that they had to have watched a particular series to be up on what they were going to see in the movies?
I started to notice after Endgame, I saw more and more memes pop up online kind of mocking that model, right? I saw like one about, it showed Captain America in a theater and being like, in 2030, you'll have to have watched 100 Disney Plus shows, things like that. So I started to get the feeling there that people felt like it was homework, or like there was another one that was like if Lord of the Rings came out today and it was a list of all the prequels, the Bard prequels, like things like that, Gollum's story. And that's when I noticed that pop culture had kind of started to see things as homework. instead of I get to see this, it's I have to see this.
Right.
And I think when the Disney Plus shows were based around movie characters and they'd been nothing released in a year, it was exciting. But whenever you're starting to introduce characters like Moon Knight, who, by the way, good show, could have been great. Oscar Isaac was fantastic in it. Whenever you start to introduce characters like that, we're thinking, well, why do I have to see this? You know, Captain Marvel, the first one was a huge hit because people felt like they had to see it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to bring that back. I really don't. I mean, there was all this enthusiasm for Kang, right? We made so many Kang theory videos. And then Quantumania showed him getting beat by ants in a fist fight with Paul Rudd, and it killed the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
There's so many other things, too. I also think Marvel is trying to top Endgame. And if we expect them to top Endgame, and they should stop trying to do that. Everything doesn't have to be a world-ending event.
Yep.
Yes.
The whole, I want to see cameos all the time of everybody. That killed Multiverse of Madness, like, because we had our hopes up for Tom Cruise Iron Man for some reason. So I think fans are a little bit complicit in this. Like, we're raising our expectations to a certain point. But like you pointed out, a lot of products are mid.
Yeah.
And we've got things like Thor Love and Thunder, which squandered two of the all-time greatest Thor stories and just gave us a product that was too silly and didn't have the balance that Thor Ragnarok did.
No, couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Do you think that they could do a great reset where you put this whole universe to bed and then you just start all over again?
Well, I think that's what, I mean, in the comics, that's kind of what Secret Wars does.
Yeah.
So I think that's the plan. I think we put a video out yesterday, actually, where I talked about, okay, so here's what's really going on in Deadpool. Here's the setup where I talked about like 30 years of Marvel history, et cetera, et cetera. It looks to me like what's happened. Kevin Feige, one of his first jobs in Hollywood was working as an associate producer on the first X-Men movie, right? And I think Feige always likes to go back and he likes to like fix, in quotation, likes to fix things, right? So if Incredible Hulk wasn't a big hit, so he brings back the leader in this upcoming Captain America movie, brings back Thunderbolt Ross. He wants these things that didn't hit to matter. And you look at how the Fox X-Men universe wrapped up, it went out with a whimper and not a bang. And this is a movie that kicked the franchise that kicked off the Marvel age we're in now.
Yep.
So I think Feige, when Disney bought Fox and they were like, how do we put the X-Men in? Thought we could just introduce mutants. We could just have them there and do it gradually. Or we could give this universe a big send off and then merge the aspects of it that we want after we reboot in Secret Wars. The question I have is, whenever Secret Wars is coming out now, whatever year that is, right? We'll have gotten the James Gunn interconnected universe, which is going to tell this big story. I wonder how much people are going to care at that point and how much people will have moved on to something else. And I do think like a little soft reboot, recast Tony Stark, recast some other people is probably a great idea.
I think you're going to need some time sorbet, so to speak, just to get people off that rail and then being reintroduced with that same, hopefully that same sort of zeal that yielded that first magical run. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It all comes down to characters, guys. If you don't have the characters that people care about, then you don't have a franchise.
Fortunately, we have some other places to go to as well, like the Dune second film is going to be coming out, and that was one that I thought for sure was going to pass right over. I thought it was going to be too heady. I thought people weren't going to take it in because Steve and I love the original film. I'm a fan of the novel. So when that hit and it was accepted the way it was, I'm like, yay, excellent. We've got something really serious and intense and awesome that people are into. And the trailer for this, and I'm sure you guys, I haven't watched a video yet, but I'm sure you've done a video on that trailer. The second Dune.
We have not actually, but we're going to cover the. Well, sometimes it depends when it comes out.
Okay. Sure.
Like if something came out during the holidays, Marvel took all the air out of the room with What If, and I was off. My in-laws came over, and we did like Christmas at home, so like I wasn't on at all during that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't cover the trailer, but we've got a guy, Ryan Britt, who literally wrote a book on Dune for us. He's going to do a breakdown of the movie because he knows way more about Dune than I ever could because he wrote a book on it. And we've got a lot of stuff. I love that first movie so much, and I love the original book.
Excellent. Well, listen, we want to point people in the direction. If you're a fan of Ryan Arey and Screen Crush, or you just are super duper geeked out and interested in all of this stuff, they cover it. And this is the first ever live event that is going to be taking place. It's going to be on the 22nd. It's at the Roulette Intermedium in Brooklyn, and we'll post about it, and it's easy to find. I'm sure you guys have it on your YouTube channel, the information there.
ScreenCrushMerch.com.
Okay.
We have a link right at the top that takes you to the landing page for that.
And it's
and we got some cool shirts on there too that we design ourselves.
Cool. It's a multimedia event. This show.
Thank
correct?
you.
There you go.
That's what we're going to go with. Thank you.
Love it. All right, Ryan, great to catch up with you. Thanks for all the knowledge, man. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Anytime.
You got it. Ryan Arey, guys. Screen Crush. Those guys it's incredible. I always am blown away, and you find out so many cool things. I'm going to go watch the one about just the Deadpool trailer here in a little while.
I want to see the one where he talks about Madam Web and how much he can't stand it.
It's so funny that he categorized Dakota Johnson as that, because I'm really... I don't like her very much. So she seems very vacant to me.
So here's the deal. I like her a lot.
Okay.
But like on SNL, they ran with that as a thing that she's known for. In fact, she goes to meet with their writers. They're the new Lonely Island guys.
Yeah.
And they're very funny as well. And they were playing off that fact that she doesn't appear to be acting or even trying.
Right.
I've seen her in things where she's been very good. She's in Black Mass. She's Depp's girlfriend.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so she can be great.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, she's just kind of flat.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the 50 Grays movie, so I don't really have that to compare
the first
it to,
one was, it was more porny than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, but he kind of savaged that pretty good. Wow. All right. Well, anyhow, with all of that, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back in a moment, and we'll get to the bizarre file because there's some really good stuff that's in there. And we're just getting ourselves set for our Galentine's Day party tonight, which is full steam ahead. I mean, there's still a little bit of snow happening, but it's supposed to wrap up around lunchtime, and we should be good to go for this evening. So we'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
That's your traffic on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, thanks, Kath. Rochelle just sent me the perfunctory picture of snow on the furniture in the backyard.
What's it like?
This looks... Case, that looks like 4 or 5 inches.
Oh, yeah, that's a decent amount.
That's not the 1 or 2 inches.
Well, you're a little way out. Like, I mean, the Poconos, they're looking at possibly up to 12 inches.
North and west of the city are getting it pretty bad right now. There's like 6 inches up in Wind Gap, and Lehigh Valley is getting it pretty bad. And a lot of the roads, Kathy, and you were talking about it a little bit, but like Route 33 northbound between Easton and the Poconos is completely blocked. So if you are north and west of the city, be careful.
Okay.
Wow. All right, well, we have special suites to stay in tonight if we want to at Rivers Casino.
Ooh, and they're nice.
And rather than driving home to 5 or 6 inches of snow, I don't know. I might head down there instead.
Take a little nappy poo.
Kathy, bring your PJs.
Yeah. Actually, I did. I packed some food. I threw some clothes in just in case something like that was going to happen, and I did throw some pajamas in there. Yes, it's horrible. All right, we need to do the bizarre file. Here we go.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Horizon Services. Get your heater checked and inspected by their pros. You'll get upfront pricing and same-day service, plus $50 off of any repair. Schedule at horizonservices.com/WMMR. All right, we will begin in Australia.
That's a whole other country.
A throng of thongs showed up to support the Free the Peach movement in Australia to peacefully protest a ban on wearing thongs off the beach.
I always thought Australia was very liberal with that stuff.
They are, but this one guy, local businessman Ian Grace, proposed the ban in a letter to the mayor saying thongs make people uncomfortable, even in beach towns. According to the report, Grace wants to ban the skimpy bottoms because they, quote, risk sexualizing young children and even make some grown-ups like him uncomfortable.
I bet he has a big old hairy ass.
However, protesters say they have the right to bear their buns on and around the beach. Grace says, off the beach, cover up, male or female. I think that's pretty straightforward. Then you're seeing people for who they are, not what they're showing off. He added that the men would never think to wear a skimpy bathing suit like a thong. He said, if all of a sudden guys started walking around bearing their bums the same way, we'd be lambasted, castigated, all those big words. But then again, blokes wouldn't do it. We just don't think about that.
I've seen some dudes
I have too.
In some nightmarish bathing suits.
He said, why would I want to stick a thong up there and show my bare bum to everyone? Because it's a big hairy ass, like Steve was saying. History says the G-string was first worn by showgirls in the 1920s. By the 30s, Chicago was home to some of the largest G-string manufacturers.
Chicago!
Did not know that.
Chicago!
Yeah.
With their G-strings, you can almost see their rectums. Everyone loves a proctological exam during a can-can show.
G-strings were all the rage.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to another story. An investigation is underway at a Montreal area high school after multiple parents have alleged that their kid's art teacher has been taking their drawings made in class and listing them for sale on several websites without their knowledge.
Son of a bitch.
They're selling the
kids' artwork.
Oh, my God. Two parents say they're outraged after learning that their kid's art is showing up online, seemingly for a profit.
Well, this is my house, and that's smoke coming out of the
The sun's in the corner.
That's my mother, and that's my dad. That's my dog, Boo.
Yeah, and that's my brother has no arms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this rainbow.
Yeah, he's a little idiot.
One of the drawings made
This
by
is a turkey, but it's actually my hand.
a 12-year-old student has been listed for $151 on at least 4 different websites.
Yes, I'm curious about your artwork.
Her drawings and those of other fellow classmates appear on multiple items, including T-shirts sold for $55, coffee mugs for $41, and an iPhone case for $35 a pop.
Are they being sold as delightfully nostalgic children's art?
No, they're probably pretty good artwork. So Michael Bennett, who's one of the fathers, said, "I'm extremely disgusted with this person. It's extremely unbelievable." No, it's extremely, it's unbelievable, he said.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Bennett said he learned...
Whose work is that right there?
My daughter's.
Okay.
Bennett said that he learned about what happened when his 2 daughters...
That's where we live. And that smoke coming out of our chimneys.
Coming home from school on Wednesday, and told him that
My little brother has no arms.
a classmate stumbled upon the teacher's website after searching his name on Google. Wow. That student went to inform another teacher, he said.
I want to draw a hand turkey.
And within minutes, word spread fast around the school about what they had found.
Did they suggest how much was made off the site?
No, but they didn't say how much they made, but they told about what some of the prices they were going for.
Jeez.
But both daughters' artworks are listed for sale on various websites. Both parents said that they believe that there are dozens of students' portraits on the teacher's websites and are calling on the school board to take immediate action for that.
Forget the pedophiles. It's actually the unscrupulous art dealers.
In a remorseful conclusion to a tragic incident, Refugio Jimenez Jr. and Angelina Jimenez have pleaded guilty to charges stemming from a gender reveal event that inadvertently sparked the deadly El Dorado fire in 2020.
We all remember this story. What were they using as the accelerant? What was it?
I'm not sure exactly what it was, Steve, but the wildfire which raged through the San Bernardino National Forest not only claimed the life of firefighter Charles Morton, but also wreaked havoc on lands, homes, and community, culminating in a plea of involuntary manslaughter by Refugio and misdemeanor counts for Angelina. The event that set off the catastrophic chain of events was meant to be a private family photo shoot using a pyrotechnic device to announce the gender of the impending child. The device quickly ignited the dry grass at El Dorado Ranch Park, a day of hot temperatures, and despite the couple's immediate efforts to extinguish the flames with bottled water and to call 911, strong winds fueled the inferno across forested land. Yeah, it doesn't matter that they tried to stop it. They shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. Because out there, you've got
It's
the
a
fire line.
tinderbox, yeah.
The fire which took place notably, the fire which took place during a notably intense wildfire season that destroyed nearly 10,000 buildings and killed 33 people across California, underscores the increasing challenges faced by firefighters due to climate change and conditions in the West have become significantly warmer over the past 30 years. As part of their guilty plea, Refugio will serve a year in jail, complete 200 hours of community service, and be on 2 years of felony probation. And Angelina faced a lesser charge and has been sentenced to a year of summary probation alongside 400 hours of community service. Authorities in California's Central Valley are asking residents to be alert for stolen beehives, which are prime targets this time of year after nearly 100 were recently stolen from an open field.
100 beehives?
Yeah, 96 beehives valued at nearly $34,000 were stolen late last month.
Where'd you find the story? BuzzFeed? Oh!
According to the Fresno County Sheriff's Office. The hives have been positioned in almond orchards for the region's famed almond blossom season. This type of crime consistently happens in Fresno County around January and February as beehives are set out for the almond bloom. It's usually someone else in the industry behind it since they're familiar with handling bees. They will strike at night when the bees are dormant or in the rain when they are not active. The stolen hives, which are owned by South Dakota beekeepers, disappeared on January 28th. No person or vehicle of interest has been found.
Where the hell are we?
Yep, and that is what I have in today's Bizarre File. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll get to lesson question, trash, and music news. Don't forget, about an hour from now, around 11 a.m., major concert announcement coming up. So happy to reveal some information to you. We'll take a break and come back in a second, so stay put. 93.3 WMMR can't stop. It is 10:20, and today is Tuesday. That means Tat Tuesday. So if you have not done it yet, my friend, you are not out of time. You can text the word tattoo to 39333. You're going to be in the running for a $350 gift certificate from one of the best, Floating World Tattoo and Piercing on South Street in Philadelphia. Check them out, 1729 South Street. Or do a quick search on Floating World Tattoos, and you'll find them, and we will give away that Preston and Steve tattoo before the end of the program. It is, let me see, it's time to do the lesson question. That's what it's time for. All right, so we have a $50 What a Crock Meals to Go gift card. If you can answer this question, who endorses the fictional cereal Cuck Nuts? 215-263 WMMR. Who endorses the fictional cereal Cuck Nuts? What movie actor? All right. If you were listening and you heard that and you know, then call, because we'd like to reward you for your loyalty of listening all morning long. 215-263 WMMR. While you do that, we'll do this.
The trash business is a gold mine. 93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, we're going to get some stories. Let's see what's up, Steve.
Well, Taylor Swift's alleged stalker David Crow has been deemed mentally unfit to undergo a criminal trial. Instead, Crow will be told that Demi Lovato thinks he's cute.
Oh my God.
That's just wrong. Wolf Blitzer going, I don't know if you guys saw this, Wolf Blitzer going viral for appearing to be about to puke during a CNN interview with Representative Jamie Raskin. Later, it was revealed he was not throwing up, but was actually filling his pants with a Blitzer biscuit.
Oh my God.
Gotta watch that footage if you get a chance. And in a very convoluted story that continues to be convoluted, O.J. Simpson revealing he's either currently battling prostate cancer or has recently beaten prostate cancer. O.J. caused the confusion in a recent social media post in which he said cancer is extra insidious because it has no head to cut off. That's Hollywood Trash.
We are going to see if someone knows the answer to this question. Who endorses the fictional cereal Cuck Nuts? 215-263 WMMR. We'll go to Ozzy, see if we can answer. Yo, Oz, good morning, bud.
What's up, guys? Morning.
Morning. All right, so who endorses the fictional cereal Cuck Nuts, please?
Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. Morgan Freeman, hang on. Oz got it right, so we are going to set him up with a $50 What a Crock Meals to Go gift card. What a Crock, delicious, ready-made meals. Make dinner easy for anyone. You just drop a meal into your slow cooker in the morning and come home to dinner waiting for you. So congrats, Oz. Hang on the line. We'll do music news.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, we'll start with this after making its live comeback at the Power Trip Festival in last October in Indio, California. AC/DC has announced an extensive European tour, its first in 8 years, slated to begin during May in Germany. Feature 21 performances in 10 countries, running into mid-August and featuring mostly stadium dates.
It amazes me, these guys, and I'm sure they're going to be great. But like I saw about a year and a half, 2 years ago, Angus Young sitting down to an interview, and you would have thought he was like a stick puppet.
Yeah,
It's amazing. This larger-than-life, energetic dynamo on stage is a discarded Muppet in real life.
It's being billed as the Power Up Tour in reference to AC/DC's 2020 album of that title, which the band could not tour due to the pandemic. So Brian Johnson will be back fronting the band after dropping out of the Rock or Bust World Tour in 2016 due to hearing issues. Guns N' Roses' Axl Rose filled in for him. Johnson will be joined this year by co-founder Angus Young on guitar, of course, his nephew Stevie Young on rhythm, and new drummer Matt Logg. Chris Chaney will join on bass to replace the retired Cliff Williams. Chris Chaney. Johnson, who's been fitted with new ear monitors to allow him to perform again, says that he's stoked about the prospect of putting AC/DC back on the road again. American-born Chaney has an extensive resume that includes Jane's Addiction, Alanis Morissette, Eddie Vedder, and the Earthlings, Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders, and others. Logg, who is also American, replaces Chris Slade, will make his debut with AC/DC after 10 years, he made his debut with AC/DC at the Power Trip Tour after 10 years with Morissette, Alice Cooper, Slash's Snake Pit, and Mike Campbell's Dirty Knobs.
May I just jump in here quick? Because you mentioned the ear monitors, and I'll forget this if I don't go to it now. Online, Preston, I've seen it pop up. There is a commercial with Steve Martin talking about tinnitus and these earplugs. This has got to be a deep fake.
Okay.
If you watch this video, and if you can, and if you look for it, he's talking in a way you would never hear Steve Martin talk about a product. The fact that it's tinnitus, which you have, and it's him talking about this, I am convinced this is a deep fake that keeps popping up. Because I've checked out tinnitus in the past, and it's come up.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you don't see it popping up.
I have not.
But it's got to be Steve Martin. It sounds like him. It looks like him, but there's a bit of uncanny valley going on.
Okay.
And I'm just waiting for them to bring the curtain down on this. But it's so absurd that they went with Steve Martin. In all my years of loud banjo playing.
Right. Nick's looking that up, and he can't find anything. So, it's probably
it's
not. It's
got to be,
not legit, by the way, no word yet on AC/DC having any dates in North America when the group last toured during the fall of 2016. So it might be something down the road that they announced, but as of now, I do not know. So what'd you find out, Nick?
That Steve Martin apparently does suffer from tinnitus, which he received while filming a pistol shooting scene for the film The Three Amigos. But I can't find the commercial, Steve.
Yeah, Nick, and again, I'd be amazed if it's legit. Because it's just something off about it. Okay. But they got the voice down. All
right, if the drummer looks familiar on Late Night with Seth Meyers this week, it's because he's Brooks Wackerman of Avenged Sevenfold. He's filling in this week with the 8G Band, playing music in and out of commercial breaks. Seth has a lot of fill-in drummers, which is kind of a cool thing that he does. He gets a lot of YouTube drummers and stuff like that. It's a good idea. He last sat in on the Late Night NBC talk show back in 2017. A member of Avenged Sevenfold since 2015, Wackerman has played with several artists, including Tenacious D, Korn, Suicidal Tendencies, Avril Lavigne, and Blink-182. Bret Michaels has partnered with Live Nation for his second Party Gras tour. By the way, today's Fat Tuesday, for those who don't
completely forgot,
who aren't aware of that.
That's for this Snowmageddon.
Calling it a touring festival that includes, obviously Bret Michaels, Don Felder, formerly of the Eagles.
Nice.
Lou Gramm of Foreigner, Dee Snider of Twisted Sister, and crossing genres, Michaels has invited his good friend and country artist Chris Janson to join. Janson said of the tour, it's nothing but a good vibe. Each artist will sing only hits, no album cuts, no covers.
He promoted it on our show. Was it that the Blood Drive we were doing it for it last time, or that he came on? I forget last time, but anyway.
We were at the Blood Drive.
Yeah, it was, and he's so enthusiastic about it. I'm glad to see that this has some teeth to it.
The 6-city amphitheater tour will kick off July 12th in Noblesville, Indiana. Stops will include Michael's hometown of Burgettstown, Pennsylvania, And that show is Saturday, July 13th. And the Party Gras tickets are on sale now.
Do you know that Brett Michaels adopted one of the puppies from the Puppy Bowl?
No.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. He's a good man. He's a good man.
He's awesome.
Michaels, yeah.
Worldly known good guy.
Two more quick things. James McCartney, the son of Paul McCartney, will release a new single called Beautiful on February 23rd. James grew up contributing to recording sessions for his dad's albums Flaming Pie in 1997
and Flaming Turd
and Driving Rain in 2001.
So what's the son like? Have you heard?
Don't know. Didn't look it up. The 51-year-old multi-instrumentalist first started releasing his own music in 2010, and his last recording was 8 years ago. I don't know if Paul helps him produce.
That's my boodly boy.
Or what he does, but if he makes
terrible!
If he makes a mistake.
Why did you do this? Why would you go into music?
Paul lets him know about it.
You're an idiot.
That's your boy.
It's a big daunting thing when you
Sure.
Who's
son of a Beatle?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Again,
yeah.
I'm trying to think
Julian Lennon?
Julian Lennon's a talented musician, but did he suffer the curse of John Lennon? Did Sean Lennon suffer the curse of having a larger than life
I don't know.
father in the same business?
Danny Harrison is a musician as well. That's
they're all talented.
George's son. Ringo's Zach Starkey has been played with The Who for a long, long time and a few other bands.
Of the kids in music, is Zach Starkey
of that collective?
Right.
It's got to be. Probably.
Right.
Most accomplished.
Right.
You know, he's had a steady career for a long time.
Stella McCartney, his daughter, is doing well with fashion.
Zach Starkey's been with The Who longer than Keith Moon was with The Who.
Wow. Yeah, is that wild?
Yeah.
Wow. All right, and then one last thing. We have a concert announcement coming up in 30 minutes. 11 a.m. It is scheduled. So I'm looking at the clock. Most likely Pierre's going to be handling that. We'll be done, but Pierre will have a big concert announcement for you at 11 a.m. Do not miss it. We'll take a break. We'll come back in a second, wrap up the program when we return. So stay with us, please.
Like to.
Nirvana would breed on 93.3 WMMR. It's everything that rocks. 10:39. Preston and Steve radio program coming to a close for the day. What a morning it has been, by the way. And a few people to thank and a couple of things to mention. I would like to thank, first of all, the group that we had by from Ringling Brothers. We had Sunshine and Danny, and then the three acrobats, the all-female balancing group, Black Diamond Trio. They were incredible. And they're performing at the Wells Fargo Center from the 16th to the 19th, so this weekend. Ticketmaster.com. It's something else, man.
Yeah, I love what they do, and again, they've evolved with the times, and now they're that thing that awakens the inner child.
Yeah. Yep, and it's in town this weekend, so that's cool. Ryan Avery, or Arey, I'm sorry, I keep saying Avery. Ryan Arey from Screen Crush joined us, and that guy's forgotten more about geeky movies than we'll ever know.
And he's a contortionist.
And he can bend like nobody's business.
It's unbelievable.
No, he's got a live show coming up with Screen Crush. The whole crew's going to be in Brooklyn for this event. And you can go to Screen Crush's website and get the information and get your tickets and all that stuff. And then I would like to congratulate the winner that we announced earlier this morning from the Polar Plunge that Nick participated in with the Special Olympics over the weekend. We had the winner of the Steven Singer Diamond Engagement Ring, and that is Brooke Luciano.
Yeah.
So we made that announcement. So thanks to everybody who contributed and was a part of that whole event. But Brooke is the one who ended up winning the Diamond Engagement Ring. So we thank Steven Singer.
It's pretty awesome.
For presenting that, which is wonderful. Today's Tuesday. That means we need to get a winner for Tattoos Day, and we're going to do that right now. Congratulations are going out to Mary Nafe of Pottstown. I believe it's pronounced Nafe, N-A-F-E, or Nafe. I'm not really sure, but Mary's going to get a $350 gift certificate for Floating World Tattoo and Piercing to get a President and Steve Show themed tattoo. And you can check them out at 1729 South Street in Philadelphia. Artwork samples available at floatingworldtattoos.com, or you can find them on Instagram at Floating World Tattoos. So congratulations to you, Mary. Pierre Aubert has made it in from the frozen tundra.
not so bad out there.
Oh, it's good. All right, good.
Slushy, cold, but you can get there. Just go slow.
Okay.
Stay back from other cars. So you guys had that. Was he a writer about science, about movies and stuff?
His website, and he is a writer, yes. That's his main thing, is that realm, and they do videos and Easter egg stuff, and it's pretty amazing.
So well versed in all of that, and you guys were so deep in the conversation that I was going, which one is that now? Which one is that? Because I try to stay up with that stuff because I love science fiction, as you do, Steve. And Steve and I were talking last year and some of this year about the new Star Trek TV show, Strange New Worlds.
Right.
And you and I are both fans of the original ship, the Enterprise, which is beautifully, the technology is such that it really looks amazing.
Still looks great.
Yeah. In the first season. However, the second season, not to geek out, but to further this geeky conversation, I'm going, where did they go off the rails? I don't know if you saw the second season
I do,
or not,
and I can tell you where.
It's like there's 3 or 4 episodes in, they're doing a thing where there's an animated or cartoon Star Trek series, and all of a sudden, these cartoon characters jump through a portal and become humans in the Star Trek, and they are interacting.
You do that maybe in the 5th or 6th season of the show when you're looking. You don't do that when you're building the show and we're still trying to figure out how these characters the way we like them. And they did an all singing episode.
Oh my God. That's a sledgehammer to the TV. I'm going, you're kidding me. And the whole thing, they got infected with some virus and the whole crew is singing and there's production numbers in the bridge of the Enterprise. I wanted to take the sledgehammer to the TV. And I'm going, no, you're effing with the mythology.
First season was fantastic.
Was great.
I agree, 100%.
And the second season, I mean, I like the negative, the Gorn. Is that the bad character?
The Gorn's great, yeah.
The Gorn is a great new villain, relatively speaking, in the Star Trek universe. But when they take these bizarre turns and make these characters do stupid things, like singing the Broadway episode, I'm going, stop it. I'm yelling at the TV. I'm sitting by myself, yelling at the TV, and no one knows what I'm talking about. But stop it. Don't do that. They don't sing and dance on the bridge of the Enterprise, down the hallways in the transporter room. No. Cartoon characters don't leap into the storyline and become humans and then at the end become cartoon characters again. No.
Well, collectively, there's a lot of that's going on throughout genre stuff. So, but he gave, Ryan gave some hope about, what they're doing and how they're reeling it back and learning how to do characters again and all that stuff.
On Star Trek.
Just in general.
That may be
okay. All right. Yeah. I'm sorry for that, Rave.
No.
I just needed to make that.
You needed it.
You're with friends.
And
you're supposed to say, my name is Pierre.
My name is Pierre, and I'm a raver.
You're in a safe place, Pierre.
Thank you. Thank you. It's so nice to be here and share.
Yeah. Now have some donuts.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Can you share a letter?
I can.
All right.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
All right.
Gotta take a quick look.
Let me think about this for a second. The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
G is in Garfield.
That'll work. G. And we have a pair of 2024 Lonnie passes to give away for the summer concert season, Freedom Mortgage Pavilion. The wide variety of concerts that you will get to see include Hozier, Chris Stapleton, Third Eye Blind, Kids Bop, Dave Matthews Band, Foreigner and Styx, Earth, Wind and Fire in Chicago, Jason Aldean, the Doobie Brothers and Steve Winwood, 30 Seconds of Mars, Hootie and the Blowfish, Avril Lavigne, Rob Zombie and Alice Cooper. There's a bunch and more to be announced. Lonnie passes are on sale now at lawnpass.livenation.com. Another chance to win a pair at WMMR.com for VIP members. So take advantage of that. What do you have in store for today?
Lots and lots. Speaking of music, I have not one, but 2 concert announcements over the course of this Double Shot Tuesday. So, you don't want to miss them. They're both really cool.
Exciting.
Really cool in entirely different ways. And yet there's a connection between the 2 separate events. And yet collectively, they're part of each other's scene. It's amazing. Also, it's Double Shot Tuesday, as I mentioned, and it's World Radio Day. And so we will do a gigantic workforce block of thematic radio songs, of which there are many.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, so we'll have fun with that.
Love it. Thank you very much, Pierre Robert. I would like to also thank our sponsors. President Steve Show is brought to you today By Duncan. Preston Steve Show runs on Duncan. Also brought to you by Meineke Car Care. You won't pay a lot, but you'll get a lot. Tomorrow on the program, we will go live on Fox Good Day. We'll have a secret text word. We're going to talk to Jamie Drysdale of the Flyers via Zoom tomorrow.
Nice.
Which is really cool. We'll celebrate Valentine's Day, and we will recap Galentine's Day, which is happening tonight.
Looking forward to it.
At Rivers Casino. So that's it. We're done. Rage on. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.